The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Hey, fatty boom boom, the sweet sugar dumpling. Hey, fatty boom boom, let me tell you something. No, not because you're so big and fat. Don't believe I'm afraid of that. Self-praise is no recommendation. I'm the king from creation. Hey, fatty boom boom, the sweet sugar dumpling. Hey, fatty boom boom, let me tell you something. To me that look like mouse on a $1 bread. I wouldn't stop trying till I drop down dead. Never let your big size fool you. The cooler day of the cool you. Look like a mouse on a $1 bread. I wouldn't stop trying till I drop down dead. Never let your big size fool you. The cooler day of the cool you. Hey, fatty boom boom, the sweet sugar dumpling. Hey, fatty boom boom, let me tell you something. I say not because you're so big and fat. Don't believe I'm afraid of that. Self-praise is no recommendation. I'm the king from creation. Hey, fatty boom boom, the sweet sugar dumpling. Hey, fatty boom boom.
Oh, yes, 0344 499 1000. I've just realised I've just spent the last 4 hours pointlessly arguing with people on Twitter, just pointlessly arguing with people. There's new evidence that some of the information in the Michael Jackson film, Leaving Neverland, Finding Neverland, one's a good film, one's a bad film, that the timelines are wrong. I've looked at a couple of the stories, that the timelines... The two, at least one of the victims speaks about. If you know more about this than me, you know 0344 499 1000. But the timelines are wrong, and that he's claiming stuff happened when Jackson wasn't there and before a train was built. That seems to be the key thing. He was raped on a train, he says, but the train actually hadn't been built until 1994. That seems to be the main thrust of it.
So there are possible explanations for this. One, it's because
there's a few explanations.
Because they're lying.
Yeah, yeah.
Two, it's because they didn't realise they were being abused until a long time after the fact, and so the dates are sketchy.
Yeah.
Three, it's because whoever's watching it is forming their opinion based on the bias they already have.
Or the director, or it's, the director screwed up. I don't know. Here's the thing, though. So I've been arguing with people, and I just because I've been bored. It's been bored and arguing. It's not actually frustrating me. I found it very, very funny. I've been laughing a lot. I don't know where I was sexually abused. I know the building I was in. It was a village hall. And I know it was somewhere near Poole, because at the end of the week, I don't even know if we were there for a week or 2 weeks, right? But at the end of the week or 2 weeks, we went to a shopping centre in Poole. Remember that? I don't know where it is. I don't know the name of the village. Don't know the nearest town. I would struggle to put a year on it. I could narrow it down to 2 years, one of 2 years. So I don't know this. I don't know the specifics. Well, does that make my story any less reliable in the eyes of some? It would do. But here's the thing. I find this whole stuff about the Michael Jackson documentary, I'm finding it fascinating. And I did say on Twitter, and then I deleted my tweets, as I often do delete my tweets. You got a problem with that? Well, stick it up your ass. I delete my tweets a lot. I like to keep my timeline clean, just like my ass. Which that latter is not true, actually. But I did say I don't think that these facts coming out, or the not facts. I'm trying not to use the word fact. This mistake in the timeline does not completely discredit the movie, as a lot of people are saying. Even that, with a lot of the other, in inverted commas, evidence that people have, doesn't discredit the movie. And I've said this, and I mean it. If something comes out that blows that movie out of the water 100%, right, and proves, you know, if there's there's I don't know, this is an exaggeration, obviously, but there's like a video of the director and the two guys going, right, well, I want you to say this, and then I want you to... If there's something comes out that completely discredits that whole documentary, I will apologise. I will apologise, and I will do some form of amends. I don't know what that amends will be, but of course I will do some form of amends. Getting the timeline wrong of when you claim to have been raped, mixing buildings and location, mixing them up from something that happened 30 years ago, does not mean those people are lying. It's not evidence. It's not evidence that those people are lying. Certainly strengthens, you know, what I think is at the moment quite a weak case against those two men. Certainly adds a little bit of extra fuel to the fire. Certainly does. But I don't think it discredits that entire documentary. So I've just been arguing with people for it because I was bored. Came into work early. I've started this thing now where I do the prep in italics for the show at home. I do it at lunchtime because I just go online and look for stories that stuff. So I did all the prep. So I came in a bit early because I knew Kath was going to be in, and we ate chocolate and we watched Married to a Stranger, and that was it. So I've just been arguing for 4 hours, and it's a real waste. It's a real waste of time, you know. And then here's the phenomenon. And we've got Jack, Chris, Chrissy, Alan. Stay there. We will come to you in a bit. 0344 499 1000. Then I noticed there were quite a few tweets who were calling me out for having a blue tick. Technically, we all know it's a white tick. On Twitter. You know, the verified tick. Of course, you would say that. You're a blue tick. Well, you're going to defend those guys because you're a blue tick. Like 3, 4, maybe 5 comments calling me out for having a blue tick, and so I raised it and said, has anyone else spotted this? And Katie Puckrick, friend of the show, said, yeah, I've spotted that before. I've been called out because I've had a blue tick. Then it makes me less trustworthy. And she said, and I've rooted around a little bit, and she's listening to the John Ronson podcast. Apparently blue ticks feature quite prominently in there. And she says, it seems to be, some of them are groups of trolls, some of them are bots, just going for people with blue ticks. And I find that fascinating. And then I've just been having a really interesting, but I would suggest misplaced conversation with someone. Here we go. Look. This person I love ice cream. Notice someone said these blue ticks and he took it personal. I didn't take it personal. We are allowed to make general criticisms, blue ticks or not. You see, it's and all I've done, the thing where I'm taking it personal is another criticism of the blue tick was a tweet I did. And it seems to be that blue ticks are... Here's one in reply to that person. What's going on? This person I've been arguing with about the blue ticks. Not arguing, discussing.
Is it, what's the name of the person?
Well, the first one is I Love Ice Cream.
Okay, real name?
I have no idea. And the next one is from someone called Games People Play, Hannah Pauses. And that's in reply, it's not following me, that's in reply to the first person. What's going on? Is this more blue tick syndrome?
Oh, here we go.
So it's obviously a thing. And I do wonder if, and the person reply, multiple tweets coming, and then talking about subtweet. God, people who subtweet are such arseholes. Absolute arseholes. Just say it to the person. Here's the thing, stop subtweeting, right? Grow some balls. I've never subtweeted anyone in my life. Grow some balls. If you want to say something rude about someone, just say it to them, or don't say it. Don't subtweet it. I don't get that. But
also, grow up.
Yeah, grow up. Jesus, you idiots. But so it seems to be that a blue tick's being lumped in with the MSM, the mainstream media, the Jewish conspiracy. Is it something like that? Generally, I stumbled across it 2 hours ago, so I don't know. I'm finding it absolutely fascinating. Someone then argued with me that that most people with blue ticks are journos, and they have a right to. They should be very clear in what they're saying. And then someone said that blue ticks have authority, which I totally disagree with. Totally disagree with. No, they don't. Blue tick, all it means is you've been verified as yourself. And even then, as we learnt from the Derek Griffiths thing a year ago, it's irrelevant.
Just means it's an official account.
It just means it's an official account. I'm just going to... John is loving the show tonight. John has just texted us. John, how do I see the history? John is loving it. Thank you, John. Glad you're liking the show. Thank you. We appreciate all the text. So anyway, there might be something in there. I might do a little bit of digging around because I'm just finding it absolutely fascinated. 0344 499 1000 phone. I'm just going to mute that person. I love ice cream now because it's getting on my... Right, OK, so we can talk about that. After 11, we got Kate Robbins coming up. I've got to be honest, I had a huge crush on her when I was 7 because she was the Crumpet in Crossroads. Do you remember? She lived on a barge. I think she lived on a barge, and I think you would have been 3 or 4.
Yeah, I don't really remember.
She lived on a barge, and I think it was Adam Chance. She was like a pop star living on a barge. This is how I remember
She actually did have a single out,
she had a big hit.
At the time, yeah.
Got to number 2 in the charts. Big old hit. I was listening to it today. It's a great song. And I, 7, 8, 9, you're just starting to get, well, I guess kind of sexual feelings, but not, you got this confused. You don't know
it's
what
just
they
a
are.
thing, yeah. I had that for Monkey. Monkey Man.
There you go, you see. And so Kate, who because you've worked with her.
Yeah,
I met her very briefly once at 3CR, but I was a little bit too embarrassed to talk to her. And we've just been having a few tweets, and she seems absolutely delightful. She's worked with some friends of mine, and it seems ridiculous. Ridiculous. And I said to her, I'm really sorry, you should have been on this show years ago. You should have been one of the first we got on. So she's coming on after 11, hopefully. And I'm looking forward to talking to her. But you know the rules, dear listener. You can call in 0344 499 1000. Lots to talk about, including a significant percentage of people think that their Wi-Fi is affected by ghosts.
Oh.
The Late Night Alternative, weeknights from 10 with Iain and Kath on Talk Radio.
Stimulating nightly emissions guaranteed to open your eyes and your mind.
Oh, my word.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Something very strange in the air tonight. Something very, very strange. These are weird times, dear listener. Join us, though, 0344 499 1000. Let's go to Annika. Good evening, Annika.
Good evening.
Good evening, Annika. What can we do for you this evening?
So I'm just calling in about the Michael Jackson topic.
I knew you were. I knew you were. I got a vibe from you.
Ah, wow. Yeah. Let's hope it turns out to be a good vibe.
Well, it's there's a question mark over it at the moment. Go on, what you got?
So firstly, I'm sorry to hear about your own experience. Nobody should ever have to experience something so awful.
That didn't sound. That's first of all, that sorry is unnecessary. Secondly, it didn't sound convincing, if I'm honest.
Well, how you choose to interpret it is up to you.
No. It's how you delivered it. It was an unconvincing delivery because I can. My question mark was my spidey sense was correct because you're obviously going to come on and defend Michael Jackson, right? Which is your prerogative. But I as a victim of sexual abuse, I find the fact that you would couch it in an insensitive, unfeeling, and slightly weird apology. I don't know. You use the word sorry, so I'm reaching for the word apology, even though it's not quite right. I find that actually quite offensive. So
really?
Put your
you find it offensive that
insincere more than offensive. I correct myself. I correct myself. Well, you don't sound it then. Then in that case, that's a problem with your tone of voice. So let's put the insincere sounding apology to one side because that's irrelevant to this, and let's get to the point that you'd like to make, please.
So the point that I'd like to make is that you said numerous times that if there was any proof 100% one way or the other, or specifically you said that if there was video or something of the director telling you...
I said that I was exaggerating. I'm going to stop you there because I said I was exaggerating there. We had a lot of people that would only believe Jackson was guilty if there was video evidence of him raping children, which of course there isn't, and of course there wouldn't, so it was a slightly tongue-in-cheek comment. Carry on.
No, I know, but the point being that if there was something almost 100% to prove that he didn't do it. But how do you prove a negative if indeed he didn't do it?
I don't understand your question. What's the point you're trying to make?
I'm trying to say that
you missed. I've got your point. Well, then you weren't listening properly. I said if there was something.
How can you get my point if you haven't let me answer your question?
No, because I interpreted what you said and I've got it. How do you prove a negative? That wasn't what I was asking. That wasn't what I was saying. I was saying if there was evidence that proved that this film was faked.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was trying to say. If there was not to prove a negative, to prove that the film was faked. The example I gave was an exaggerated pantomime example of the director and the two victims. Alleged victims, if that makes you feel more comfortable, sitting there plotting what they were going to say to make this film. So it's not to prove a negative. It's evidence to prove that. I said I would apologise if there was evidence to prove that this film was entirely faked.
Okay, regardless of that.
Well, no, that was your point. Not regardless of that. That was your initial point. So let's focus on the initial point. So yes.
Hang on.
No. Your initial point was, Annika, they can't hear you when I'm talking. They can't hear you. They can't hear you when I'm talking. Your initial point was, how do you prove a negative? Well, I don't know. That's not what I was saying. The point that you picked up on and are now seeming to move on from is, I said I would happily apologise if this film was blown out of the water and it was proved it was faked. What do you say to that?
How can you prove something was faked unless you look at the available evidence?
No. You're not listening. You're not listening.
I am listening.
Well, you're not.
You're not listening.
No, I am listening, and you're not. I am responding to what you're saying. Unfortunately, that's not what you're doing with me. Carry on. Let's see what else. Let's see what your second one is.
It's almost pointless because unless someone says what you want to hear, you're just going to talk over them and tell me they can't hear you when I'm talking. So what exactly is the point? So there's a number of inconsistencies in this.
I don't want to go through the inconsistencies in the film because we have, if you've been listening before, we have done that. We've gone through the inconsistencies. We have done that over a couple of nights. So what would you like to bring? And by the way, I will let you talk. I just let you speak then. What would you like to bring to the table that's new?
So I'd like someone to be able to explain to me how you can be abused in a building that didn't exist. I understand completely that as a victim that you can get dates wrong, that you can get times wrong, you can get places wrong. But these two men have been able to retell in quite some graphic detail certain instances of abuse. Now, I would appreciate if they'd said it could have been in that room or that room.
Well,
but a building that didn't
Annika, here's the thing. I don't know where I was abused. I can go into graphic detail as to what happened, but I don't know where it happened. Now, that could be because it was a long time ago. That could be a way of my brain trying to I couldn't tell you what year I was abused, Annika. I couldn't tell you what year.
Could your brain make up a building?
It could make up it could fuse two locations together. Yes, it could. It could. And here's the thing. Who are you to tell... And these guys might be lying, all right? These guys might be lying. But who are you to tell... And this is where she says, well, actually, I'm a child psychologist who deals with rape. Who are you to tell a victim of child rape how they should think, what they should think, how and what they should remember? You don't know. You don't know.
No, I haven't told them. I'm no psychologist. I'm a lawyer, actually, so I look at evidence. That's what my role involves.
Well, you'll be aware of... What law do you specialise in?
Commercial law.
Okay. Okay, well, that's kind of not very helpful in this because obviously when it comes to sexual abuse and rape, particularly or something that happened decades ago and happened to children, you'll be aware, or maybe you won't, that sometimes things can be moved around, imaginations can be filled up, things can be forgotten and suppressed for years, facts can be merged together to create one slightly confusing fact.
You know, I accept that, but equally, you still have to look at both sides of the story.
Of course you do.
This is just one side.
Of course you do. Okay, prove he didn't do it. Prove he didn't do it. Prove he didn't do it. Where's the evidence? Not the evidence that they're lying. Where's the evidence he didn't do it?
Like I said, how do you prove a negative?
Okay. Am I lying because I don't remember what year I was abused?
I don't know anything about your story.
Well, no, yeah, okay. Well, I've just come to you. I don't know what year. Well, you offered a very insincere apology for it that I actually found offensive. I actually found it. I found it. No, it's your tone. I found it offensive.
I don't think you can say to someone that you've never met,
yes,
never
I can.
before, how their tone is.
Yes, I can. Your tone is cold and insincere. I can say that to you quite easily. You can say what you want about my tone. I don't really care.
Okay.
But
you're sounding very jovial about sexual abuse. I don't think it's a funny topic.
Well, first of all, jovial isn't a word, and secondly,
jovial.
You said jovial. Secondly,
no, I didn't.
You did. We can play the tape back. Secondly,
play it back.
Who are you? Who are you to tell me how I react about my sexual abuse? You're not. You're nobody. You're nobody.
I
you
didn't
have
say
no.
yours. I
No,
said
no,
about
no.
the topic
You said
of
I was
sexual
being.
abuse.
You said I was being very jovial about sexual abuse. You said jovial. You said it, and we will play the tape back. Don't worry about that. You said jovial, and I am talking about my sexual abuse. Yes, I am very jovial about it. I laugh about it. I joke about it. Is that okay with you, Annika? Do you mind? Because if you don't mind, why did you pick me up on it? Why did you pick me up on it? Why did you call out a victim of sexual abuse? Why did you call out?
To joke about sexual abuse. That's my opinion, which I'm entitled to.
I'm not. Well, it's gone from jovial to joking now. I'm not joking, but if I wanted to joke about my sexual abuse, which I have done in the past, I will do that. Thank you very much indeed, because it's my story, and I will deal with it in any way I see appropriate. Whether that's to sit there crying about it, whether that's to laugh at it, whether that's to punch or whatever I choose to do in relationship to what happened to me as an 8 or 9 or 10-year-old boy, I don't quite remember when, then that's okay. That's acceptable. And nobody, lawyer, commercial or otherwise, will tell me that that is wrong, which is what you just did, which is why I thought your initial thing at the start sounded insincere, because it was. Because you've shown.
Well, it
your
wasn't.
True colours
That's
now.
completely up to you. Okay.
Did you say?
Okay.
Listen, this is a minor point, but I'm enjoying it. Did you say jovial or joviable? Come on, let's be friends.
I said jovial.
Can we play the clip, please, Amy?
Please. You're sounding very jovial about sexual.
Thanks very much indeed, Annika. I mean, it's a small point, but you're a lawyer. You know, if we were in court, you'd want specifics. Do you need to hear it again?
Not particularly. I meant to say jovial. So
okay, that's fine. You meant to. Well, that's an example of one thing you've got wrong. Okay, let's carry on. What else have you got? Because this isn't. How do you think this is going? If you were in court, Annika, how would you think this was going? Because I can tell you, it's going badly.
Really?
Yeah, it's going very, very badly. Yeah. Well, there's me being jovial again.
See, this is a pointless conversation because you have no interest in listening to anything other than what.
Well, no, but you're talking rubbish. You've criticised me for how I deal with my own. You've criticised a victim of sexual abuse for the way they deal with their sexual abuse, which I think is outrageous.
I don't think I'm allowed an opinion, as is anyone else. I personally don't find the topic of sexual abuse, child sexual abuse in particular, funny.
No,
I just don't.
No, well, here's the thing. What you did was you told me that me being jovial about my sexual abuse was inappropriate. Well, do you know what? You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're so wrong. I will deal with my horrible history in any way that works for me. And any victim of any sexual crime can make jokes about it, can laugh at, they can do whatever they want. And this is the thing that a lot of the Michael Jackson fans aren't getting. You have no understanding of how the brain processes a horrible, horrible physical abuse of power that happens to you at the age of 8, 9, 10. You have no idea, which is why you telling me being jovial was inappropriate was actually a really bad thing to say, which is why, and I don't know if these two gentlemen are lying or not, I tend to believe them, but my mind is open, unlike yours, but which is why you can put two different dates together. You can put two different locations together. It is possible. It's called survival.
I appreciate that, but as I've said, do you not accept also that a victim of a false allegation is also a victim?
Yes.
So if these two men are lying, now I believe that based on the research that I've done.
What research have you done, can I ask?
So, yeah, I read the court documents that, with regard to the cases that these two men have had against Michael Jackson's estate for the last 6 years. I've been following this story not just in the past few months when Leaving Neverland has come out. But
Why are you
like I
so
said, for the
interested
past
in
6
it?
or
Why are
so-
you so interested in it?
A number of reasons. One, I knew Michael Jackson
How did
in
you
a
know
way,
Michael
manner.
Jackson?
So I've been a fan for a long time.
Okay, how did you know him?
Through that, I was able to meet him on numerous occasions. I visited his home.
Right.
I've seen him interact with a lot of people.
So you didn't see
And I've
him
had my
rape,
own
you didn't see him rape any children?
No, but that doesn't mean anything. does
Exactly.
It, really?
It doesn't mean anything.
No.
It doesn't mean anything. So all the people that have said, well, I've seen him and he was great with kids. Well, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything.
That's not what I'm saying. You asked why I'm interested in this story, so I'm explaining why.
Yeah, and I'm just, as you'll understand, I'm just clarifying a few points because I've had quite a bit of nonsense thrown at me, and I'm just picking away at a few of those bits and pieces. Okay, so you know Michael Jackson, you knew Michael Jackson, and you want to defend his honour. That's admirable. Well done. Congratulations.
Based only on the research that I've done. For if I felt, having done that research and spent a lot of time doing it, that there was even a shadow of a doubt.
What would you need to prove What would you need to prove that he was guilty? What evidence would you need?
Well, for a start, there's an FBI investigation.
No. What proves him innocent? What would you need to prove he was guilty of child rape?
I would need something more than people who...
Something more than testimony?
Who initially go for where they can make the most money, because... Again, for me, that doesn't seem credible.
Well, here's the thing. You are wrong on that. You are wrong on that. So what you're saying is you don't believe just the words of someone who claims to have been raped. Well, then, unfortunately, thank God you work in commercial law and not anything that has any impact on this, because unfortunately, quite often in a lot of sexual abuse cases, all you've got is the word of the victim. All you've got, whether they've been for money or not. Let me finish, and you can come back in. Whether they've been for money or not is irrelevant, right? All you've got in most of these cases is the word of the victim. That's it.
Right, I accept that, but that's why we have due process. That's why we have a legal system in which both sides are entitled to fairness and justice. Now, if someone is found guilty, they're found guilty. If someone's found innocent, they're found, or not guilty, they're found not guilty. But what I'm saying is that both sides have an opportunity to either present their case or defend the case.
Jimmy Savile didn't get a chance to present his case, did he?
No, but that didn't go in court in the way things should have.
So Jimmy Savile's innocent? Jimmy Savile's innocent?
No, I'm not saying that. This is a completely different story.
No, it's not. It's actually, there's a lot of similarities. Is Jimmy Savile innocent or guilty in your eyes as a lawyer?
Should I be completely honest with you? I haven't looked into that case at all.
I can tell.
Other than what I've read in the press, and my opinion is based purely on that. I personally, and not as the lawyer, just personally based on what I read in the press, don't think he is.
Don't think he is what? Don't think he is what?
I don't think he's innocent.
Okay, but you've just got that from reading. You've just got that from reading the papers, and you're prepared to make a judgment on the guy.
No, but that's why I said I haven't done enough research. But you've asked me what is your opinion.
But he hasn't been tried in a court of law.
But that's
he hasn't been tried. There's no physical evidence that he did what he did.
Right.
But you didn't know him.
I said
you didn't know him.
No, but that's not the point. I've said a number of times that my opinion on Michael Jackson. I wouldn't phone into a show to discuss Jimmy Savile because I don't know enough about it.
No, but the thing is that please just calm, Annika, calm down. It is relevant, and you must be able to see why it's relevant to bring up Jimmy Savile when we're talking about Michael Jackson. You're an intelligent woman, right? I get that from you. You must see why it's relevant to bring that up, mustn't you?
I can see why people try and make comparisons.
You don't see any similarity at all. You don't see any reason why it's relevant to bring that up at all.
Each case turns on its own facts.
You don't see any similarity in that at all.
In what specifically?
Sorry, I thought you were intelligent. Let me try again. You don't see any similarity. That was a low blow. I take that back. I apologise. That was a low blow. You don't see any similarity between Jimmy Savile being accused retrospectively of child abuse and Michael Jackson being accused retrospectively of child abuse. You don't see any similarity in those?
In both being accused retrospectively, yes, I do.
Okay. All right, Annika, it's been interesting talking to you. Thanks a lot. I hope I've learnt a lot. And I hope that maybe you can take away something as well.
Absolutely.
Thanks very much, Annika. Cheers. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
A star-crossed soapbox for sailor boys, stable girls,
I'm on the edge.
and stripper
It
grands.
depends who you're with and it depends on the situation.
Late night speech radio with a difference. Thank you. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We've got loads of calls. I'm not going to give out the phone number. If you know it, you can call in. We'll try and get through them as quickly as we can. I think we gave Annika a fair crack of the whip. We got a guest on at 11, so let's go to Chrissy first of all. Good evening, Chrissy.
Hello, Ian.
Hello.
And hello, Catherine.
Hiya, Chris.
Hello, Chrissy.
Hello. I came to see you actually on Saturday.
Oh.
Yeah, I was sat next to Gary. I'm his sister.
Oh, Chrissy. Hello, Chrissy. I had one of Gary's chips on your say-so. How are you doing? You all right?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you very much. I'm ringing in about last night's show.
Oh, yeah. What was
I want
last
one
night?
of those membership tickets.
Look at everyone jumping. The thing is that the membership, first of all, they're called membership cards, right? It's not that difficult a concept. Secondly, we haven't got them yet. Thirdly, I ordered them today.
Oh, good.
They ordered. They're coming, I think they're coming on Monday. My laminator is coming on Friday. So Monday's show, fingers crossed, Monday's show, we're going to have a stack of 100 membership cards and a laminator and a silver Sharpie pen to write people's names on and their membership number. But you got to phone in on Monday. I can't. I'm not going to give them away now.
This is the first time I've called in. I thought I've got to have one of them membership cards.
You've blown it.
Here's the thing as well. He completely went over my head with this one, and he selected.
It's a great design. It's a beautiful design. Beautiful burgundy cards.
Yeah, it looks like
burgundy.
It looks like
it's beautiful,
sort of,
classy,
posh brothel.
Is what comes across. On, it is classy.
Posh brothel, burgundy with like swirly gold writing.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. You would be proud, Chrissy, to have one of these in your purse.
I'm sure.
Or your shopping trolley.
Oh no.
Yeah. You got to call in on Monday, though.
All right, I will call in on Monday.
Tutty bye. Thank you very much. They're coming. Let's go to Chris. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Ian. Yes, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
man,
Chris.
I just like to start by saying, if I was ever in court, man, I would get you as my lawyer.
I'd be the best lawyer.
Because I mean, we'll get a bit joviable and that, but you'd get the point across.
I would be. By the way, I would happily. If anyone needs a lawyer, I will happily do it because I don't actually know. I don't actually know the laws, but I know how to have a bloody good argument. And I would come. You sound. And the thing is, Chris, you sound like a criminal. I don't know, drug dealer, petty criminal, drug dealer, maybe a bit of armed robbery. What have you done, mate?
Nah. I'm reformed, Ian. I'm reformed.
Listen, there's always that temptation, though, when money's a bit tight, the kids are hungry, you've got that sawn-off shotty buried in the allotment. Come on, Chris.
No, I'll just ask for overtime these days, Ian.
No, they're okay. Well, this is what we're dealing with. All the gangsters are gone legit, and which means good, honest lawyers like me, we're out of business.
That's it, man. I'm just basically, I called you like 50 days ago. I'm 100 days today.
Yes! Come on, buddy! Well done, Chris. This is great news. How are you feeling? You're sounding good.
Mate, I'm brilliant, man. I'm just life's just taking on a whole new meaning, you know.
Wicked.
At work, it's good. I'm getting noticed. A lot of my emails, all my paperwork's up to date.
Man. Well done,
brilliant, man.
Well done, man. I'm thrilled for you, Chris. That is brilliant news. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, man. I've been waiting to ring you. I thought, I'm going to give him a ring when I'm 100 days.
Yes, man.
You know.
I got a big grin on my face, brother. That is brilliant news. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks, Ian, man. And also, me and my girlfriend are coming to see you in Shaftesbury on the 6th of July.
Yes, man! Chris is coming. Chris, I'll get some gear in. We'll have a party.
Hey!
I'll bring the shotgun.
There we go, you see. We're going to get coked up and we're going to go on the rob. We won't be getting coked up. We won't be going on the rob, Catherine. We won't be getting coked up or going on the rob. That is a joke.
Good.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
afraid to phone in Crime Stoppers. I want that community trust action reward.
Chris, I look forward to shaking your hand, brother, in Shaftesbury. Thank you and congratulations. 100 days, man. That is brilliant. Let's go to Jack. Good evening, Jack.
Hello.
Hello, Jack. What you got for us?
online bullying.
The what?
I've been getting harassment online.
Uh-oh. Have you told your teachers or your parents?
Yes.
And what have they said?
They've just said, ignore them, they're idiots.
Yeah, that's easier said than done, though, isn't it? I know what it's like, and that's easier said than done.
Yeah, and, I told them to go away, and I blocked them, and they've somehow added me again, and...
Is it people that you know, or is it strangers?
Strangers. They're strange.
People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces jump out of the range. Well, what is it on, like Twitter, Facebook? What is it?
Snapchat.
What is it? What's that? Is that the one where the picture lasts for like 10 seconds?
I think so.
Don't they need your phone number for Snapchat? Snapchat. Do they need your phone number for that?
I think so.
Well, how are they getting your phone number then?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, how does it make you feel as a person?
As a person, it makes me feel unwanted.
Yeah.
And obviously it doesn't help because I'm fighting through not getting depressed. I don't want to get depressed.
Don't give them the power then. They have the power is yours to stop them from making you depressed. You've got the power to not let them send you on a little downward spiral. What kind of stuff are they saying to you, man? Without obviously using bad language.
They called me a disabled CU.
Okay, okie dokie, golly gosh, wowzers.
And I turned around and said to them, listen, if you keep doing this, I'm going to report you. And they turned around and said, you report me, I punch you.
You report me, I punch you, gosh.
But you don't know them, so how are they going to punch you?
Exactly.
Is there any chance it could be like people at your school that are somehow doing this?
No, they don't have the guts to face me.
Okay. Well, this is maybe why they're doing it on the thing. Do you need to be on Snapchat, Jack?
No.
How would it be? And I know this is a big thing to ask a young person, right? And it's maybe impractical, because I'm an old man. How would you feel if you deleted Snapchat from your phone?
I would feel excellent.
Well, then do it. Do it.
I'll do it now.
Can you do it now while we're on the line? And then could you give us a call tomorrow and just let us know how you got on for a day without having Snapchat?
Okay.
Could you do that, man?
Yeah, I'll do that for you.
Nice one, Jack. Well, let's speak in 24 hours. You got 24 hours. And let's see if there's any change in your mood.
Okay.
All right, man. Nice to talk to you, Jack. Hang in there, buddy.
Okay, bye.
You got this. Thank you. Let's go to... is it Cass or Kaz?
You can call me Cass. That's fine.
Okay, Kaz. What have you got for us?
And I was just listening to the really interesting conversation before with the lawyer, Annika. I missed this part of the discussion, but I really get the angle she's coming from, and I think it sounded like I'm listening in the car right now on a taxi, that it was really difficult to give her a chance to speak.
Okay, and, what would you like? What would you like to say? Well, I'm giving you the chance to speak. So, what would you like to say?
That's awesome. I really appreciate that. Well, the first question is, you asked her why she was so invested in the topic, and I guess I'd like to ask you, why are you so invested in it now? I mean, are you on the show every week? Is this a weekly show? Is it a daily show? I don't know. Why now are you suddenly talking about the issue?
Because some people tweeted me about it today.
Ah, wow, the power of Twitter. So someone tweeted you about it, and you're that impressionable, you decided to have a whole show.
No, we're not. No. Well, as you say, you don't listen to the show. No, we're not having a whole show about it. We've got Kate Robbins at 11.
Oh, brilliant! I love.
Have you ever heard? Who is she?
I have no idea who she is.
Right, well, that's rude and disrespectful.
Well, you called Annika earlier unintelligible.
Okay, but you were rude about... no, I don't think I called her unintelligible. She said jovial.
I think that's what you used.
Okay. What have you called in for, Kaz? Because I know you just want to have a pop at me, so just do it and let's get it out of the way.
Listen, I'm interested to know.
You've
why,
insulted me, and you've insulted my guest without knowing who she is. So what do you want to say?
Okay, you referred to Michael Jackson as a child rapist.
Yes.
I thought.
Oh, Kaz, I'm so sorry. We cut you off. Manners cost nothing, mate. Manners cost nothing at all. You were rude to me, and I'm fine. I've got broad shoulders. I can take that. But you were rude about a guest of mine, and that's disrespectful. I won't allow that. I won't allow that, Catherine. So, sorry, mate. This is not. This show's probably a little bit too intelligent for you, buddy. But thanks very much. Let's go to Annie. Good evening, Annie.
Good evening, Ian. How are you doing?
I'm having the time of my life. I'm having the time of my life tonight. This is what it's all about. This is. I'm alive. I'm alive. What have you got for us, Annie?
You do like to poke the bear, don't you?
Is that a euphemism?
No, well, it can be if you need it to be.
Okay, go on. We haven't got much time. What have you got?
Okay, I was just saying, I know I'm not an expert in commercial law or any of those different kinds of things.
Yes.
But I do know a little bit about how people respond to traumatic experiences. I can probably help out a bit more with that.
Go on.
People have jumped onto this fact that they've got a date wrong and a building wrong and that kind of stuff, but that's irrelevant. The experience that they're talking about is the relevant part of the story for the victims. And if they're remembering things like buildings and places and dates differently, that's irrelevant and doesn't undermine the credibility of the story that they're telling.
Okay, let me. To be fair, does it not? If a significant, I haven't got the stuff in front of me, but apparently a significant part of what one of these men said in the documentary involved being on a train at Neverland, but that train wasn't there at the time. That train didn't arrive until 2 or 3 years later, when he had said that he'd stopped being raped at that point. So he's saying he was raped on a train that didn't exist. Does that not diminish his argument significantly?
Not necessarily, no.
Really?
But for a lot of things that you were talking about earlier, things like abuse is an emotional experience, and memory is emotional. So we remember the experience and how it made us feel. And sometimes a lot of the details around it get filled in later.
Yeah.
So when we remember the experience that we've gone through, the context is sometimes added after the fact. And that bit is easy to mess with.
Yeah.
As long as the context of the emotional experience that victim is talking about is consistent, then the story is consistent. If the other stuff changes around it, there's 1,001 reasons for that. And unfortunately, for somebody like a lawyer, they're going to grab onto things like that and use those things like empirical fact and to point at things and say, therefore, the rest of the story is not true. In situations like this, it's not relevant. It really is
so
relevant.
It's not. You're saying it's completely irrelevant. Does it not throw a little bit of shade onto the validity of the rest of it? Maybe not take away completely, but if you can go, well, look, he's saying he was raped on this train in 1991, and this train didn't actually exist until 1994, when he says the sexual abuse had stopped by 1994. That's surely got to throw even a tiny question mark over what they're saying, hasn't it?
Well, no, not really. I mean, it's really difficult to look back at things like that. The rest of us to look back at situations like that and pick out things like facts. But for that person who's remembering the situation, if there's a picture of a train in the room, if they've heard a train somewhere else, if there's anything of those kinds of things, changes the context of where they are and what happens. So if later on, when they're remembering the experience, it gets mixed up with an experience of being on a train, then those two things in their head become the same experience and get melded together. As long as the emotional part of the story stays consistent and the story is still consistent.
Annie, I would spend longer talking to you, but I want to get in at least one more call before we go to the news. We've got Kate's coming on at 11. I appreciate that. Thank you very much indeed. Let's go to Paul. Good evening, Paul.
Hello.
Hello, Paul.
Here I am.
Oh, it's Paul. Hello, mate. How you doing?
It's just to do with a book you talked about some time ago.
Go on. Which book was this, Paul?
Which book? Yeah, I've written 2 books only, but the book is a book. They're noted down in sort of like Wittgenstein notation.
Paul, can I ask you a question? Do you live on your own?
Yes.
Do you see a doctor regularly? It sounds like a weird question, doesn't it? It is a weird question. Do you speak to a doctor? When was the last time you saw your GP?
Well, I am classified as a paranoid schizophrenic with epilepsy.
I got that. Do you know what? I got a little bit of that vibe. I got a little bit of that vibe. So you just, I got a little bit of a vibe that there was that there was some it was a mental health issue going on. I don't know why. I'm just quite sensitive to these things. When was the last time you saw your doctor, Paul?
Not long ago.
Okay, all right. So you're in regular contact with your doctor.
No, you're right. Yeah, go on.
No, I was just going to say, listen, because can I be really honest with you, Paul?
Mm-hmm.
Would you be offended if I spoke honestly to you, because I think you deserve honesty?
Yeah.
The last few calls we've had with you, you have sounded very confused, and I've been very worried about you.
Why?
Because we haven't spoken about your books. We haven't...
No, ages ago, good while back.
I don't think we did, Paul. And if I'm wrong, I apologise. I really don't think we do. The last 3 calls, including this one that I've heard you make to this station and this show specifically, have been very confused and have been talking about stuff that you think Catherine or I have been talking about, but actually we haven't. You've actually imagined it. And so that just makes me a little bit concerned as to whether you're okay and taking care of yourself.
Yeah, but you said what is it? You said that you hit. I'm sure I know.
Oh, Paul, I don't think I did say. I don't think I did say what you're searching for.
There was 30. Once.
Paul, you're searching for... Paul, are you all right?
No, I'm not all right.
You're not all right, are you, man? You're not all right.
I'm good.
Hey.
I'm going over the edge.
You're going over the edge?
Yeah, no, I'll be all right.
What do you mean by going over the edge, Paul?
Well, me thinking, somewhat I'm on the ground floor.
Yeah. You're getting a bit confused.
Me left hand tends to shake this. I was pushed out of a window years ago.
Were you?
Straight onto concrete, apparently.
Oh, blimey, mate. I'm sorry about that.
Then just recently, my mum died. Yeah. I've been trying to get... Michael died.
I'm sorry that Michael passed away. That must have been tough.
He's a friend. Oh, he was. He hadn't been there long. He was a drug addict.
Where, Paul, do you live in like a sort of sheltered home?
No, there were people, a few people around.
All right. Do you have? Is there like a warden there, or a nurse, or someone who's in charge, like a grown up?
What do you mean?
Well, like, is there like a warden who lives there with you, or a carer or somebody?
Well, no, it's just for going out into the community.
Right. Do you? Okay, Paul. I'm worried about you, man. But I'm also painfully aware there's nothing I can do for you at the moment.
Right. Well, yeah, but you did the book.
No,
right?
You imagined it, Paul. You imagined it.
I didn't, till I've got the other copy of a different book, even more. The reason why I wanted to ring you was to find out, because you of the other that book, which was stolen off me by some bystanders.
Paul, listen, I have to go because I'm really late for the news, right? But the thing you're thinking about me stealing a book,
Look, you never stole a book.
Okay.
You never stole the book.
All right.
They could send the book to you, I suppose.
All right. Yeah. Paul, listen, I have to go, man.
Yeah.
Have you ever called the Samaritans?
I don't need Samaritans.
I think they might be able to. I think it just might be nice for you because I've only got literally I've got to go in the next 30 seconds. I'm late for the news and we've got a guest who's waiting for us in a hotel room. But I with the Samaritans, with me you get 5 minutes. With the Samaritans, you can have 2 or 3 hours if you want to talk.
Well, I don't want them.
Okay. All right, Paul. Well, listen, I have to move on tonight, man. But it's nice to talk to you, mate, and you hang in there.
Bye.
All right, Paul. Take care. Hey, yeah. We've covered everybody in that hour, haven't we? Really? Sorry, Kath, you've been really silent. You're going to join in with Kate Robbins in a bit.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I was letting you do your thing.
Thank you. We're really late for news. This is Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Get an earful of unusual nocturnal emissions with radio's Lord of Misrule, Iain Lee. No relation, thank God.
Unfiltered Night Talk with the original king of unconventional conversation.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Oh, we're about to go on the radio. I'm going to call up Kate Robbins. What is it with guests these days? Yesterday, what was his name? Not Will Young. Will Storr. Can I come in at 10:15? It's rocked up at 9 minutes past 10. Kate Robbins. Oh, yeah, I'll come on at 10:30. Then the message. Oh, I'm in the bar. You'll have to call me later when I've left the bar.
She was meeting like an executive from the theatre.
Outrageous behaviour. Oh, hang on a minute, I've dialed a number wrong. Hang on. I'm dialing it now, Kate. Put the drink down, love. Finish it off. Pour another one. Pour another one. She's in a show, isn't it? Always working. Have you seen her IMDb? Always working. Makes you sick. Makes you sick, doesn't it? I'm excited about this. This will be good. Let's see if she answers.
She's incredible. You'll love her.
Who's going to answer? Is it her or Stilla?
It'll be her. Here we go.
I'm here.
Hey! It's Kate Robbins. Hello, Kate.
Hello.
Now, listen, first of all, we should have got you on years ago, and I don't know why I didn't ask you, right? I do know it's because...
Am I on live radio at the moment?
Oh, God, I should have said, we're on the radio, so do your posh voice, please. I once sat opposite you at Three Counties Radio, and I was too nervous to properly come and say hello to you. I think I nodded.
Well, I must admit, when I saw you, I have to say, I kind of fell in love with you in the jungle a bit. And I thought... Because I've always thought about you being rooted in comedy, and then when I heard that you were doing this late night show, I started listening to you. And then when I saw you in the jungle, and I realised that you were damn good, man.
Yeah,
and I
realised your show wasn't funny.
No, not at all. And I just want to say, and this is a serious point.
Okay.
I just caught the end of your last caller.
Hey, that poor bloke.
No, and I just want to say to you that it is so lovely and so important that radio shows like yours actually do extend an arm of friendship and kindness to people like that, because honestly there's so much confrontational television and everything's confrontational, and it's so lovely to come across that, and I just think
thank you for noticing it, because this is the thing that me and Catherine are trying to create. This is why we call it the late night alternative, because everything, isn't it, Catherine,
is caring.
Everything is
caring.
Well, totally, everything is pointing the finger and creating fear and hatred, and that's not what we're about, is it, Catherine?
No, the whole point is that we're trying to be in a bit of an oasis away from all that Brexit stuff.
Saying that, though, Robbins, we're about to destroy you, all right?
Ooh, go on then.
No, listen, because I tell you what, I did tweet this. This is absolutely true. I think this is why I'm a little bit nervous around you. You and the original Catwoman on Batman...
Julie Newmar.
Julie Newmar. You two were my first kind of, stirrings. I'm talking young, like 8 or 9. When you when you were on that barge in Crossroads.
Oh, do you know what? And I was so nervous doing that love scene.
Were you really?
There was a duck quacking, and it made the one of the very first ever. What was the program called?
It'll Be All Right on the Night. Yeah.
In the very first ever, because I said to him, I'll never forget the line. I say, "I do love you, Adam. It's just that I've got to go to London. I'm only in Birmingham, so it's like an hour and a half away." And I'm saying, "I do love you. I've just got to go to Birmingham." He said, "Never mind, Kate. Don't worry." And I was called Kate in the thing.
Of course.
Never mind, Kate. And he said, "But I tell you what, I'd strangle that." And it was the first. Yeah. First one ever.
Listen, because I know you from the acting, I know you from the singing, and I know your course from the comedy. I don't know how you started. How did you get into doing this nonsense for a living?
I was a cocktail pianist in Liverpool when people were ordering Tia Maria and Lucas Aid.
Wow.
I was playing the piano in the background, and then I got a little band, and then this was when I was 15, 16. And then I left school at 16, and then I started doing it seriously. And then people used to say, "Hey, go on, get a song, girl." So I started singing with the piano, and then I took my band, and my band was called Kate and Co., and we went around the country just doing gigs. And, you know, I was told by I've got to mention his name, a very famous cousin of mine called Paul McCartney.
Brother of Mike McCartney, of course, who is the real talent in that family.
Paul said to me, if you go and do loads of gigs, and he came to a few gigs, he said, if you go and do some gigs and show me that you've got the work ethic, he's got a real work ethic.
Yeah.
He said, I'll help you do a demo. And he, paid for a demo. And he did, and he stuck to his word, and he did. And I did get a record deal with RCA, you know, and then I sort of ended up coming down to London, and I wrote a song for Cilla Black, and then I was in the Eurovision Song Contest, and I've done everything naff, me. Everything naff.
Well, here's the thing, and I think I don't think there is anything naff anymore. I'm at a period of my life, I don't think there is anything naff.
Well, surprise, it's quite naff, wasn't it?
Well, no, it wasn't. You wrote the theme tune to that, didn't you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wrote it for Cilla.
Wow.
I was a songwriter in London, and I knew she wanted a song that she could sing at the end of the show and walk towards camera singing it, like as she's walking away from the people she's reunited. And she used to do it years before that in a show. She used to sing, "Step inside, love, let me find you a place."
Great song.
And Paul McCartney wrote that song. And he said to me, write one with a similar kind of feel and send it to her in her voice. So I did. So I sent a demo to her, and I went, surprise, surprise. And then she ended up recording it. And it's been a lovely little earner for me, you know. It's nice. And
do you still get? You don't still get a check through the post for that, do you?
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Well, I'm singing it every night in Club Tropicana, which is the musical I'm in. Plug.
Well, no. Listen, plug away. So I saw this. This is on tour, isn't it? This Club Tropicana.
Yeah.
Where are you at the moment?
I'm in Cheltenham, very nice and posh.
Oh, then where are you next week? Is it as nice and posh?
In Hull. I love Hull.
Oh, Hull. We like Hull. Me and Kat.
Go to Wings.
Yeah. Oh, yes, go on. Tell her about Wings.
Right, Wings is this place, right, you pay before you sit down for dinner. It's like, and then they take you down to this underbelly. It's amazing.
Oh, she knows.
And it's like a big cruise ship, all you can eat. But they rule it with like an iron fist, and they'll stand over you and make sure you don't use your refills irresponsibly and stuff.
Jenny Lane doesn't turn up with somebody doing an impression of Paul and Linda McCartney.
That's what's missing. They need a Wings tribute out there.
They need a Wings tribute, definitely.
So what is Club Tropicana? What is it?
The Club Tropicana it's a 1980s comedy musical using all the songs from the 80s, well, from a certain period between about 1981 to 1984.
Yeah.
And we just sing all these songs, but it's a story based around a hotel. And I play the cleaning lady who does impressions. And it's just, you know what, it gets people away from black holes and Brexit, and it makes people laugh.
Yeah.
And they absolutely have gone mad for it. And I'm not just saying that. I cannot even, I don't want to say it because I'm scared it'll break the spell, but we have played since January in a different town every week, and it has gone down a storm everywhere. And it's just refreshingly, because it's set in the 80s, we kind of do 80s humour as well, which is a bit weird. But, we make some references to, like, well, wouldn't it be good if there was a currency in Europe that everyone could use? Oh, that'll never happen.
There we go.
There's some prophetic stuff in it as well. But,
Kath, can we find the list of where this is? Because A, we're going to give it a plug, and B, I want to see if we can blag some free tickets to a show.
Oh, you are so welcome.
We're coming.
Carol Vorderman, my mate Carol Vorderman is coming, and I have to say, when Carol comes to something, she makes sure everybody knows she's coming. She's brilliant, and she's been tweeting about it, and she's coming on this Friday. But, we have had a lot of people who and everyone I think what it is, as I say, everyone's fed up of Brexit.
Yeah, of course.
And it's just a nice, going into spring, summer, everyone comes out on a Wednesday, Thursday, whatever, Friday night, and it's a good laugh. Yeah. And it's just sing along at the end and get up and dance. It's a real, it's like the new Mamma Mia, really, I suppose, because everybody knows the songs already, so you're on a winner there.
Yeah.
But it's the comedy that they, my role, I did sort of help to create my role in that I wrote a few lines for it myself because I said to the writer is brilliant, and I just said, can I just stick a few things in there that I would do? So it's lovely because it's a new musical, so you're creating these new roles. It's great.
I was looking today. You've never stopped working, right? You've never stopped working.
But, I haven't been... do you know what it's like? I've done voiceovers for years. Home is at risk if you do not give a repayment or leave a loan secure on it. And I actually I remember thinking, I don't really want to do these voiceovers anymore when somebody said to me, I was singing a jingle for a solicitor's called... it was Roberts Solicitors. And I thought, OK, fair enough. And Mr. Roberts had written the jingle himself.
Wow.
And he said, yes, he went, can you do it like this? Roberts Solicitors. I went, OK, Roberts Solicitors, was me and another guy, and then he went, yeah, and these are the words: when there's a death in the family. and you're like, you say, he said, can you put a harmony on death in the family? No, it's all gone wrong.
Well, but listen, to be consistently working, because I've had ups and downs.
Listen, Ian, and then I had an advert once where I had to sing, Wonderful World, the song by Louis Armstrong.
Of course, yes.
Trees of green, red roses too. You know that song? And I'm singing, I see them blue for me and you. And I'm just doing this advert. And I turn the page of the music. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world of leather. No, please, it's enough.
My best one, I do voiceovers, and they're great gigs. They're great gigs because if you get a nice one, you do an hour's work and you can make a few grand out of it.
It's fantastic, yeah.
But I had one of the first ones I did when I didn't, and you've got to learn. You sit in a booth and there can be like 10, 15 people on the other side of the glass talking silently about you, and then they'll come and. But one of the first ones I did this voiceover. I got no idea what it was for. It's some TV ad. And the 15 people were talking, and it was getting and the sound guy turned and pressed the mic. He said, Ian, that was great. Could we do it again? Could you try and make it a little bit more orange this time? Now, when you're presented with an instruction like that, all you can do is go, OK, yep, I will give that a go.
That's a very diverse direction, isn't it?
It was ridiculous.
I mean, I've been asked to sound like a cross between Winston Churchill and Rick Mail.
Go on, do it.
And I couldn't, don't it? We were fighting about the beach. No, I don't. It's terrible. I've done Elvis Paisley, which is, Elvis Presley, but as Ian Paisley. Since my baby left me, I find a new place to dwell. I had to do Elvis Paisley. I've done everything. It's just been mental, honestly.
The major note that comes up with you, Ian.
The best money I got, Kath, the best money I got was for a certain company. I'll say the name, Ribena. And I played, and I go in and they say, Kate, here's your script. And it literally is the letters O-O-O-O-O-H, ooh, and then W-O-O-O-O-H. And I just go in and I go, woohoo! Bye then. Yeah.
We got Rosie. We got Rosie who listened to this. Her granddad invented Ribena. She gets not a penny for it. Go on, Kath, what were you going to say?
The major note you get these days from the voiceover guys is, can you do it again but sound a little bit less sarcastic?
Oh, that's the one I get. I do get that. Yeah, can you sound less sarcastic? And I don't...
that's interesting, isn't it? They think you have an edge to your voice. And I would say actually you have the most compassionate voice, certainly when I heard you before.
Thank you.
So that's interesting. As soon as you start reading the script... No, I'll tell you what you do. As soon as you're reading off the page, you change. That's what it is. You're not yourself.
You did a film with a very good friend of mine, and I'm nervous about bringing it up because this film got slated. It got slated so badly. It was funded by lottery money. That
Sex Lives of Potato.
You got it. It was my friend. I'm friends with Mackenzie Crook, and he was so depressed.
It's a work of art. I'm proud of it.
Well, it's a cracking little film, right? But it got really bad reviews, and Mackenzie was really down about it. And then one night he phoned me up and he said, Ian, they're slagging off the film on the 10 o'clock news. There was an item on the 10 o'clock news about how lottery money was funded.
I know.
But that's a great little film.
I think you really cracked it, though, when you've made Daily Mail headlines.
Yes.
We had the Daily Mail were outraged by it because it was lottery funded.
And it was filthy.
It's still a funny film, though. I mean, honestly, if you ever want to have a laugh, drink a bottle of wine and watch Sex, Lives and Potato Men. The only thing is, I am seen in a bra, so my kids are mortified. And I remember my son, obviously, was too young at the time, and then since then he's now grown up, 26-year-old, works in television. And he's saying, like, Mum, oh, my God, I've just found that film. Oh, Mum, I'm so embarrassed you're in a bra. And I'm like, oh, sorry about that, there you go. But, these things happen.
At least you had your bra on.
It could have been worse, yeah.
Oh, no, it's a big matronly bra. It's not sexy. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Now, one of your girls was in The Jungle last year, and we had a little chat about this on Twitter. I couldn't watch it because I found the whole experience when I did it in 2017. It was such a huge experience that I had to. Kath will back me up on this. I just had to avoid it this year.
Emily said it's life-changing, really.
Yeah.
She said she found it absolutely life-changing and affirming, and I think really she felt, I don't know if you felt this, Ian, that just going somewhere where you're not allowed to look at social media for about 3 weeks was just weird. And yeah, she thought it was great, yeah. And then she didn't have to put makeup on, and then she said, and then she was with these nice people, she got on with them, and she said it was just such a revelation, really, and I just said to her before she went in, as a family, we all sat round and discussed whether she should do it or not, because as an actress, you can, a lot of people would say, well, you'll never be cast in anything ever again if you do The Jungle. And she said, I'm sick of living in London on no money, trying to live in a flat in London, earning, doing one movie a year, which doesn't even pay for the blooming council tax, And so she said, no, I'm just going to do it and see what it brings. And it's been fantastic for her. I mean, I don't know whether it has been for everybody. I think it certainly was good for you, Ian.
Oh, God, totally.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I saw you doing adverts on, Good Morning.
Oh, I have got
nicely. I got nicely.
A really good year after that of a lot of... My TV career was over, right? And I told you I did it to pay for a divorce and so that my kids, who were 6 and 8 at the time...
honesty for you.
Well, no, there was. And my kids would see me on TV because they'd never really seen me. And both of those things worked. And luckily as well, I got a year of TV work off the back of it. So
you came across as as you are, very intelligent. You talked about mental health problems, and you also, were a thief.
Yes.
You're stealing some strawberries.
Those strawberries.
But you were very funny, and it was just lovely, And I think that Emily had the same appeal to people.
What did she have to do on there? What trials did she have to do on there? And what was it like as a mum watching her do it?
Well, they tell you when the trial has been done, like when it was a dangerous one jumping out of a plane, she hated that. She screamed all the way down. So everyone thought she was going to be a screamer all the way through, and people were tweeting, oh, this girl's annoying. But then when it was lying in a, some sort of horrible coffin with snakes all over you and, rats and whatever, she just sort of was very brave. And I remember thinking, because I've got 3 kids, and I remember thinking, gosh, I didn't think Emily would be that brave. I thought she would, go, I thought she'd be a bit, screamy. And she just kept saying, I'm thinking of Christmas dinner. And and then they said, it's so funny, they said to her, well, what do you want to eat in your Christmas dinner? She said, I'll go for the cheese board first. It's like, cheese board first?
Yes,
what?
Yeah.
So, of course, Tesco sent us a nice cheese board at Christmas. It was lovely, I thought, oh, these are the benefits, great.
You were lusting after cheese, weren't you?
I was like, here's the thing, when you're in there, because I went in there 5 days after everyone else, and they were all talking about food. I was thinking, you boring gits. But then 5 days in, I joined in, and you're not talking about, luxurious lobster.
No.
And you're talking about toast. You're talking about a cheese sandwich. You're talking about...
the aesthetics of basic food.
Getting a curly whirly, like really small kind of home comfort food. That's what...
Yes. And I think that, they've gone away from... Obviously, the way the programme is edited is a very important thing. We know that. But I think that they sent in Noel Edmonds to try and kick up a fuss to sort of create some sort of controversy or, some sort of, just some friction, really. And it didn't work.
Didn't work, did it? No.
No, and he was bailed. He was the first one out. Although I'm sure he didn't care because of the amount of money he got.
You get paid. That was my question to the producers. Look, if I get booted out first, do I get the same money? They went, oh, yes. I went, fantastic. Then, I came third, which was... Where did Emily come?
Yeah, Emily came second.
Oh, fantastic. What a thrill.
Yeah.
What a
thrill. Which meant she didn't get the walk over the bridge because you've always left the two... So the two, it was her and Harry in the jungle, just the two of them.
Yeah.
We all knew Harry was going to win, and he's lovely, and I'm still friends with Sandra, his wife.
But you must have noticed being out with her. Listen, she's a big star. We've seen her in the In-Betweeners and all this stuff. But going on a show like that with 12, 13, 14 million viewers.
She wasn't a big star before at all. No, she wasn't.
Oh, but people would recognise her, wouldn't they, walking down the street?
No, not really.
Oh, really?
Maybe
Okay.
sometimes for the In-Betweeners.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, it's a bit bonkers.
But now it's like, I bet the thing that shocked me is it's 9, 10-year-old kids, I bet, going up for a selfie with her.
Oh, yes, it is, very much so. And when we do in Club Tropicana, when we do our bows at the end, people, they're shouting to you, oh, bravo, whatever, And one woman shouted, and I was so embarrassing with all the other actors, we love Emily.
Oh, that must make you proud.
No, not when you've just done our show. It's like, what's that got to do with this?
Hey, listen, I've got to ask, how is Ted doing? Because Ted was poorly a while ago, and again, another friend of mine, Alex Lowe, has worked with Ted. How's he doing?
Oh, is Alex your friend? Oh, I love Alex Lowe.
Alex Lowe is delightful.
Tell your punters who Alex Lowe is.
Well, he's phoned Barry from Watford. He's been phoning me for the last 12, 15 years. He's hilarious.
He's the funniest character.
Yeah.
I love that character.
And
he introduced me to another act called, I don't know, I've forgotten the actress's name. She plays Tina Turner Tea Lady. Have you seen her?
No, I don't know who that is.
She's the tea lady that does Tina Turner songs. It's the funniest thing.
I love it.
Tina Turner Tea Lady, if you ever get the chance.
Oh, I'm going to check her out.
YouTube.
How funny.
Oh,
but is Ted all right? Because Ted was poorly, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. And he had, when he was a child, he had a bad heart. But obviously when he got older and he got overweight and then he got ill, he was doing the Peter Kay comic relief thing. And, and it was awful because we were all there in the audience. We'd all had a drink. We were all like, hey, Ted's coming on, Ray. And I knew as soon as I saw him as my brother.
Didn't
and
look
I
right.
No, I said, he's stepping this out. He's not doing it properly. It was like he was just doing a stagger through, and then he just killed over. He died for 17 minutes.
No!
And a man in the audience who was a, paramedic, just jumped up.
Oh, good for
and
him.
broke 12 of his ribs to get to his heart. And Ted's a big fella, took a lot of banging.
Yeah.
And got him back to life. And those two are best buddies. I mean, they are... I would say he's Ted's best friend now.
How funny.
And they still go out together. And
is he all right? He's recovered?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's great. He's better than ever. He's lost 4 stone.
Because I've got to say, the Slammer, that show... I mean, Ted is great, right? I've always thought you two were great. But the Slammer, that kids show, and kids shows can sound a bit insulting. It's not meant to. That is a great programme.
It was a talent show in a prison.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's so good. It's so funny, and I'm sat there laughing even when my kids aren't watching it. It's such a great show.
And it it won lots of BAFTAs, and it was a very, very good show. That it was a bit like a sort of X Factor idea, but set in a prison.
Yeah.
With the governor, Ted was the governor, wasn't he? Who's like the judge of all of that. Yeah. And of course, you've got all those variety acts which kids have never seen before.
Yeah.
Because circuses don't really exist anymore. Well, not much. Or you don't let your kids go to circuses if you've got any sense. I mean, sorry, I'm going to get people complaining about that. But, who wants to go to a circus and see animals mistreated, But... And it was great, that show, because you saw all these circus acts.
Yeah.
Fantastic, wasn't it? How did you like that?
It's a great show. You saw some weird... Kath, have we got the list of where
Yes, we have.
the Club Tropicana is playing, please?
We have. So, Hull's New Theatre, 15th to 20th of April.
Lovely.
Then Wimbledon, the New Theatre, 23rd to 27th.
Nice.
Maybe you could come to that one, Ian.
Well, maybe we'll... Hang on a bit. Who's planned this?
Show every night.
You're going from Hull to Wimbledon up to Wolverhampton. They've just thrown darts at a map. What is this?
I know. It's to do with when the theatres are available, isn't it?
Suppose so.
Nothing to do with geography.
So you've got Wolverhampton, Coventry, Oxford, Sunderland, Edinburgh, Canterbury, Llandudno, Liverpool.
Where's Canterbury? Is Canterbury in Kent?
Yeah.
Is it? Liverpool. We're doing Liverpool as
You're
well.
doing Liverpool.
You can go home.
You're doing the Empire on the 1st and 6th of July.
We're doing the Empire. I thought we were doing the Brian Epstein thing. Anyway. You're telling me I haven't looked at the list for a while. I just literally, I just do a week and then I think about the next week.
Kath and I are going to send you a cheeky little text with some dates, and we're going to come down and we're going to
You're
shout.
very welcome.
That'll be absolutely fantastic.
And we won't shout "We love Emily." We'll say "We love Kate."
Wait, forget Emily. Who? How long does this go on for, Kate? And then have you got something lined up afterwards, or have you got a little break coming up?
Well, I mean, it's going on till August. I don't know what's going to happen then. Really, I'm going to finish the show and see what's happening. I'll probably have a holiday. Because it's quite hard work, you know. I'm getting on
it's exhausting.
I do 8 shows a week, yeah. But I love it. I love it because the cast are all my kids' age, and they just make me feel, I don't know, they're just like, I'm the matriarch, you know, and it's like we have such a laugh. And
listen,
being surrounded by all these talented dancers and singers, it's great.
We love you. There's loads more I want to talk. We've not mentioned Victoria Wood or Spitting Image or any of this.
Next time.
No, this is it. You're welcome on any time. And any time you're in London, if you want to come in one night.
Once again, I'm going to reiterate, your radio show is absolutely, it should be award-winning. It's absolutely fantastic what you do for people, the way you care about lonely people. It's just brilliant.
Oh,
so,
Kate,
well done.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing the show.
God bless everyone.
And we will get you in one night. You take care, Kate. Lovely to talk to you.
Bye-bye, darling. Bye.
There we go. Let's do Kate Robbins.
She's a bit quiet, isn't she?
I love those interviews where I ask a question, but before I've even finished the question, she's off on a 10-minute monologue.
She's wonderful.
I still get paid the same. Mm-hmm. Isn't she brilliant?
Yeah.
Isn't she brilliant?
I worked with her for about 2 weeks. It was an absolute joy. Absolute joy.
I made notes. I'd never make notes for anything, but I made notes. I've done a quarter of them. Yeah, a quarter of them. We'll get her in. We're going to go and see her show. We're going to get her in one night. That was brilliant. Right, let's take a break. The phone lines are open. The switchboard is empty. 03. Sorry, I just burped. 0344 499 1000. This is the Late Night Alternative, weeknights from 10 on Talk Radio.
Closing time conversation for tax inspectors, taxi drivers, and taxidermists. Great big talk for the wee small hours.
You've been trolling me big time, mate.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
I love Kate Robbins.
Feelings mutual.
We all need a bit of Kate in our life. We're going to go and see that show. Here's the thing. I spent a lot of my time turning down work because it was naff, being embarrassed by work I'd done because it was naff, and judging other things for being naff. Now I'm 2 months away from being 46. I don't think naff exists. Naff does not exist. You're getting paid for it? Great. Imagine trying to make a living in this ridiculous business. You're getting paid for it? Great. You enjoying it? Even greater. There's no such thing as naff. And once you realise that, the freedom is amazing. It's amazing. I'm on a Channel 5 game show. I think it's on the 19th. Mine is going out, someone told me. 5 years ago, I'd have turned that down because it was naff. It's a laugh. I sing a couple of... What was the first song I sang on there? I sang I'm a Believer at the end. I sang something at the start, didn't I? But I can't remember.
Was it Neil Diamond?
No, I don't know. I sang something at the start, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it was. Anyway, some people might think it's a bit naff. Do you know what? I got paid $1,000, and I had a laugh doing it, and I got to hang out with Danny Baker.
The other thing
is... Is that naff? Works for me.
Not everyone's going to be John Gielgud.
No. Works for me. It was easy money. I got to work with Danny Baker, who I adore, and Lisa Tarbuck, who I adore, and some other, the lad, Joe Swash, Joe Swash, and the woman from EastEnders was on it, who I found very, very funny. Actually, she was cheating a lot.
Samantha Womack. I was about to date myself by calling her.
Me too. And people go, that's a bit naff. And, yeah, but I got paid a lot of money and I had a real laugh doing it. Real laugh. And I met some really nice people.
Here's the deal, and I learnt this from... it kind of confirmed what I thought, but listening to Scroobius Pip's podcast, he was talking to someone. Who was it he was talking to? A really interesting guy. And they were talking about how we have, in this country in particular... We've been sort of brought up to think that if you don't hate your job, somehow that work is not valid.
Oh, yeah, that's a good line.
Whereas actually what you should do is recognise the fact that some people have found the key to going in and doing something that makes them laugh all day and getting paid for it. That's and in fact, instead of hating them for it, you should be trying to find out what you could do to make your job a little bit less crap.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I like that.
It's the kind of Protestant work ethic.
I've got a thing that's going to make... have you heard of we've talked about this before.
Go on.
The 4 Agreements.
Uh-huh.
We mentioned this a few weeks ago.
I've heard of it.
Right, we mentioned this a few weeks ago. I couldn't remember it. And then a friend of mine on Facebook, and I only have like a dozen friends on Facebook. They're all kind of monkeys people. There's a woman called Caroline Boyce, who is the widow of the songwriter Tommy Boyce, who co-wrote Stepping Stone and the Monkeys. Anyway, kind of irrelevant. and she lives in Nashville. And she kind of, she's a woman, I think in her late 50s, and she posts stuff about, what 60s song lyric are you? And she posts a lot about her little dog Luna. And it's really nice seeing it, because it's such an
grandchildren she's got as well, isn't she?
She's got grandchild, young grandchild, yeah. And it's such an alien world to me. A woman in possibly even her early 60s, living in Nashville, right? Such an alien world. And so I love these Facebook messages. And she posted the other day the 4 agreements, which are these sort of 4 rules, is perhaps slightly over-egging the pudding a bit. And I hadn't seen them for ages. I read a book on it. A therapist years ago gave me a book on it. And I just read them and I went, oh, yeah. And it sounds hippy-dippy. And you can consider it hippy-dippy. But actually, they're really simple suggestions on how to make your life better. Mm-hmm. And I read this book so begrudgingly. And after the first one, I was like, oh... all right, yeah, I could see how that one worked. Let's try the second one. And it's really simple. And if you follow them, it's guaranteed your life will be better. It's guaranteed.
Is the first one, don't be a dick?
Pretty much. It's pretty much what they are.
Well, I'm in then.
Yeah, honestly, it's pretty much don't be a dick. Or through all 4. I'll do them after midnight, because we've got a few calls lined up. I'll do them up. We'll take a quick break. Then we've got Sohail and Andre and Alan and Nigel. And then after midnight, we'll come back and we'll do the 4 agreements. And I tweeted about it. And a few people went, oh, yes, now you're talking. It's changed my life. And honestly... really simple. We'll do it in a bit. Sohail, you're going to be the next caller. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. This is Talk Radio.
Whispering lunar incantations for cross-parents, cross-dressers.
Yeah, did you know this about me?
And cross-rail workers.
Steel and polycarbonate.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
I've got a very poor internet connection.
On Talk Radio.
I'm not going to give out the phone number because we've got 7 lines. If you're waiting, please wait. Let's go to Nigel first. Good evening, Nigel.
Oh, good evening, Ian.
Nigel, how was the food bank today?
I could only bring half of it home because I couldn't get it all in my haversack.
Oh, okay, but you went though, did you?
Yes, I got there for 2:00. Yes,
okay, brilliant. So what did you get?
I got 2 tins of chicken soup, some hot dogs in a tin, rice pudding and milk pudding. No, rice pudding and custard, and some tins of ham and 2 tins of meat.
Beautiful.
And some cake.
Okay.
And 2 lots of biscuits.
Wow. And that's only half of it.
Bread as well.
That's only half of it. That's not bad, is it?
The milk. But I couldn't bring the cornflakes and the dinner. I couldn't get into my bag.
You need to take a bigger bag next time. Well, that's brilliant, Nigel. Well done for going.
Yeah, quite a lot of stuff. But obviously, I haven't got. I still need to get a dinner. Buy myself a dinner tomorrow. Okay. I've only got soup.
Can you not go back and get the rest of the food tomorrow, or does it not work like that?
But they didn't give out. It doesn't work like that. You're not supposed to have it more once a week.
Right. Okay.
I still really need a bit of money I've got no money till next Wednesday, and it's nearly a week.
Okay. Well, you've got. Has that guy gone through your bills with you? The advocate, has he gone through the?
He hasn't got back to me yet. No.
Okay.
They haven't rung me back for an appointment yet. But I had a bill come today for £600, electric one.
Well, you need to make sure you show that. You need to phone them up tomorrow, the advocate.
No, it's okay, because I rang the electric people a couple of days ago.
Nigel, I'm going to stop you there, because I think that now that you've got this guy that can help you, I think when it comes to bills and money, it's better if you talk. You've got him now to talk to, so I think it's better that you talk to him about the bills and money instead of us, if that makes sense.
But I've arranged it with electric people. They're quite happy if I pay £30 next week.
Okay, well, yeah, they will be. But here's the other thing, Nigel. Simon knows exactly how to talk to these people to get you the very best deal. And here's the thing I worry about. If you ring up worried about what you owe, they're going to take whatever you'll offer them, and not necessarily the best deal for you. So really,
they always try and get as much as they can.
Of course they do. Here's the deal. Leave it to Simon. Trust Simon.
Simon should speak to them.
Yep.
Exactly.
And I think that it's better now for you. Now you've got Simon. We've kind of done. Nigel, it's really important you listen to me. Now that you've got Simon, I think that we've kind of done as much as we can in terms of the bills. So you talk to Simon about the bills, okay? So you need to give him a call tomorrow and get an appointment to see him, okay?
Well,
it's a really good.
But he's very busy.
I know he's very busy. I'm sure he is, but it's a really good sign that you've been to the food bank and you've got Simon who can help you out with the bills. I'm feeling.
It's still rather a frightening bill.
Of course it is. Well, you speak to Simon about that, all right?
Yeah.
All right, Nigel.
I wanted to do a quick song if I can, as I'm done.
Very, very quickly. Go on.
This is Nigel's Time, the original record made in the studio.
Are you going to sing it?
Nigel's Time. No, well, it's me singing on it, and it sounds good if you listen to the proper recording.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want you to... Don't just phone up and play a record.
I can sing with it.
Sing with it, and if I don't hear you singing with it, I'm going to cut you off. Because there's no point in just playing... So don't just play a tape down the phone.
Okay.
Here we go.
Here we go, then.
Here we go.
I'll sing with it.
Here we go.
Because I've done it so many times.
Sing with it. Some things never change. The audio quality of Nigel's music.
Testing.
My ears. It's like I'm underwater.
Is that when someone opens both windows in the car?
Yes.
Calling up, talking to the nation, sing a song, melody for your adoration. Late night calling, I'm keeping you away. It's our time to shine. Up all night, it's entertainment time. It's our time to sing another line. Oh.
Okay, well, I'm gonna.
It's not your time.
It's not anymore because the audio quality there is absolutely awful. Let's go to Helen. Good evening. Oh, jeez.
Hi, Lee. I'm driving. I'm hands-free there.
That's great news, Helen. What can we do for you in this very short phone call?
I just wanted advice about dating. I'm 43. I'm just getting divorced, and I'm self-employed. So I work from. So for me to meet somebody when I'm out and about or in a welcome
I would suggest you want some advice about dating. My suggestion would be don't call them hands-free when you're driving because it's really hard to hear. Thanks very much for your call. I mean, let's try Sohail. Good evening, Sohail.
Hello, mate. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller.
Hooray!
Well done.
Get in.
There we go. Yes, sir. What can we do for you? I forgot I had that.
I just wanted to say I moved to London 8 months ago.
Prove it.
And
sorry, that's one of my favourite lines just to throw out when someone says, "Prove it." Go on. Sorry. Continue.
I don't know how to.
Let's go.
So when I got here, I've got lots of friends in Bristol, but not many in London.
Yes.
Well, I've been listening to you guys since I got here, and it's been a real blessing.
And a curse.
And I've really enjoyed your show.
Hey, thank you.
I don't want to be a bum-licky bellend, but I just...
I know the terms.
Thank you very much. And I want to say thanks to my roommate, Jan. She's a lovely woman. She's looked after me, and so have you guys. And without
nice
you guys, it would have been rubbish.
How are you finding? Are you struggling having moved to London then? Are you feeling a bit lonely? That's the vibe I'm getting. You're feeling a bit lonely and a bit on your own.
Not lonely, but in Bristol, I've got lots and lots of people around me.
Yeah.
And here, it's a bit more isolated.
Yeah, London's tough. London's a tough place to live.
But it's been good for me. It's been nice. It's been nice to sort of like get to know myself a little bit, you know.
Good.
Just not to have so many people around me and just sort of, concentrate on my own stuff.
Good. Well, I'm glad it's working out for you, man.
But I put you guys on every night, and I think you're top.
Hey, nice one, Sahel. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Give us a call any time. You're very welcome. Nice call.
Here's something I've noticed about London and how it's changed. Right? I know that the Mary's very concerned about the quality of air in this fair city, but...
You les.
Sorry?
You les.
I don't think that's...
Ultra low emission zone.
Oh, right, okay.
ULEZ.
I remember when I used to come into London to see a boyfriend in about 1998.
You know, Les.
And I used to notice that every time I blew my nose at the end of the day, I'd have black bogies.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore,
Did you go on the Underground?
Yeah.
It was the Underground that used to do it.
Is it?
Yeah, it was the Underground.
I've been on the Underground since and I've not.
Yeah, you don't get black bogies. They've cleaned it up. They've cleaned it up.
That's good news, everyone.
There we go. Thanks very much. Let's go to Kevin. Good evening, Kevin.
All right, Ian.
Hello, Kevin.
Okay?
I'm okay, Kev. How you doing, fella?
I'm okay. How was your holiday? I've lost my voice a bit. Sorry.
You sound very husky.
It was brilliant. Well, we had the best time. I loved it. I loved my boys. We had fun. We laughed. It was really good, man. Thank you.
Excuse me, Ian, but where did you go?
We rented, there's like this, these sort of holiday places, it's not camps, but basically rented a log cabin in the woods. It sounds romantic and stuff. There were loads of log cabins, and they're actually quite luxurious. And we had a hot tub, and we went for bike rides, and we learnt how to start fires in the woods, and we went and looked at birds, and we ate, and we painted, and it was wicked, man. And then we spent a day at Peppa Pig World, so it was, ups and downs.
Like Bear Grylls.
We were exactly like Bear Grylls. Exactly, but with a hot tub.
I watch Bear Grylls every night. I've got my voice back now, thank God.
There you go. It's a miracle. We've cured you.
I've had a cough over here. I've had a chest infection.
Well, don't give it to me, dirty boy. You need some hot water mixed with some ginger. Boil up some ginger. Get some ginger root. Get a bit of hot lemon in there. Some honey. Beautiful. That'll sort you out.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Yeah, there we go. Good lad. Is everything all right with you, Kev?
Yeah, no, I was just going to ask you about your cats. How are they? Your kittens?
The kittens, well, I don't know if you can call them kittens now. They're like 9 or 10 months old. One of them, Lucky, is being very, very naughty, and I think she's living somewhere else, because it took her about 35, 40 minutes to come in the other afternoon when I was out in the back garden shaking the bag of biscuits. Normally she takes about 2 or 3 minutes, and she comes flying across the garden.
Bag of dreamies.
Sorry?
Were they a bag of dreamies?
They weren't a bag of dreamies. No, he knows his stuff. He knows his stuff.
She does love the dreamies.
No, this was just like a big bag of biscuits, so it makes a big old noise, right? And it took her about 30 minutes to come in.
Yeah.
They weren't dreamies. I thought you said greenies.
Here's the thing. I bet the old lady she's seen's got dreamies.
Yeah, that'll be it. That'll be it. It's not you, is it, Kevin? You're not kidnapping a black and white cat, are you, Kev?
No.
Good. You better not be. Otherwise there'll be trouble. There'll be trouble. It's my lucky. Kev, listen, I'm going to move on because I want to get one more call in before the news. Thank you very much indeed, Kevin. Thanks for asking after the girls. I love those little girls. Let's go to Mo. Good evening, Mo.
You all right, Ian? How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you, Mo. What have you got?
Ian, can you do like a Richard and Sal type prank call? I beg you.
Oh, what?
Because you haven't done one. I've asked her 3 times and you haven't done any.
Richard and Sal?
Yeah, do you know Richard and Sal, Howard Stern?
No. No, Howard Stern's one of the most overrated radio hosts of all time. Awful. Hey, we got some lesbians sat on a speaker, and I'm going to jerk off while they lick each other's boobs. All right, girls, here we go. Yeah, tell me how you like it. That's Howard Stern. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's a lucky chancer. Awful act. Terrible act.
He's been in the business for 45 years.
So what? I mean, he's any good.
And he's been on, and people pay £12 a month, I think, was membership.
Well, people are idiots. Americans are idiots. We know that. Now I'm going to jerk off. Here's the thing: we got a black man in, and I'm going to jerk off while he sits on a speaker. That's it. That's the act.
Well, he does so much. He's one of the most iconic ones. I know.
Yeah, we got a Jew in. I'm going to jerk off while a Jew sits on a speaker. That's the act. That's the act. He gets people to sit on speakers while he masturbates. That's the act. You want that? I can do it. Catherine, tomorrow.
I'd rather you didn't.
Can we get a speaker and a Chinaman?
Oh, my God.
I wanted to sit on the speaker and I'm gonna jerk off.
But Howard Stern does so much more than that. He is the king of all US radio.
All right, well, I've got an idea, Mo. Why don't you give him a call and tell him what you want him to do? For crying out loud. Yes, Andre.
Hello?
Yes?
Hello?
Yes?
First time listener, long time talker.
Oh, that's good, because that doesn't quite make sense, yes.
Doesn't listen.
I've got a big issue here.
Oh, I'm not listening.
Right, I've got one big issue.
Yep.
Now, do you
So
want
you
to
got
buy
more
it?
than that?
No. Last night, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Sorry for burping, yeah? But
That's all right.
I had a bit of a constipation, wind and all sorts,
Oh, okay.
yeah?
Yep. Got 30
Right,
seconds.
But what I was going to say, no, Lucky the cat.
Yes, I do.
Did you put the orange peel down to
No.
keep it in?
No, I didn't, because apparently that's nonsense. And also, I
didn't
need a
try
lot
it?
of orange peel to get go around the edge of the garden.
Get a load of easy peel oranges.
Easy peel.
Put it under the cat all the way around the perimeter. It won't go out, guaranteed.
Okay, all
You
right.
won't try it though, will you?
Anything else you want to say?
10,
cat.
8, 7 6
Don't use all
5
the now for my
4
phone. My iPhone's
3
wearing out.
2 1.
All right.
This is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Tramp. What you call me? Tramp. You don't wear continental clothes or Stetson hats.
But I'll tell you one doggone thing. It makes me feel good to know one thing. I know I'm a lover.
I have an opinion, baby.
That's all right, Mama was. And I know that child, I love it all.
You know what, Otis?
What?
You're country.
It's all right.
You straight from the Georgia woods.
That's good.
You know what? You wear overalls, big old broke iron shoes, and you need a haircut, tramp.
Woman, you too. Ooh, I'm a lover. Mama was. Grandmama. Papa too.
Make you
Oh, that's all right. But I'm the only son of a gun. On this side of the sun.
You know what, Otis? I don't care what you say. You're still a tramp. What? That's right. You haven't even got a fat bankroll in your pocket. You probably haven't even got 25 cents.
I got 6 Cadillac, 5 Lincoln, 4 Ford, 6 Mercury, 3 T-Birds, Mustang. Ooh, I'm a lover.
Prove it by me.
My mama was. My papa too.
What?
I'm gonna tell you one thing.
Well, tell me.
I know the sound of a gun, yeah, inside of the song.
You're a tramp, Otis. No, I don't care what you say. You're still a tramp.
Call me that.
Look here. You ain't got no money.
I got everything.
You can't buy me all those meats and sables and all that stuff I want.
I can buy you meat, rat, frog, squirrel, rabbit, anything you want.
Look, you can go out in the Georgia woods and catch them, baby.
Oh, but you goofy.
You're still a tramp. Tramp, Otis. You're just a tramp.
03444991000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. This is the Late Night Alternative, weeknights from 10. Iain Lee and Catherine Boyle. You can download the Talk Radio app. You can listen to us on the DAB. You can also go online to talkradio.co.uk. Lots to talk about. Let's go. We've got Paul. We've got Simon. Let's do Simon first. Good evening, Simon.
Hi, Ian. How are you?
I'm all right, Paul. I'm feeling very, very, very good. Although I've got a hair in my mouth. I don't know what that's
I'm a
from.
massive fan of yours. I've followed you through, the other radio station, and I'm a celebrity. And
thank you,
you're one of the best for me. You're one of the best. You really are.
Well, you're one of my favourite fans.
I'm a first-time caller. I listen all the time. I'm in Crete at the moment. I was going to see my dad, and I got ill, so I'm in the hospital in Crete.
No, really?
Bronchitis, yeah. But the thing is...
Oh, mate, I'm sorry to hear that.
Because I didn't get the recommended insurance, so I'm having to pay Ian $1,500 a night for the room.
No, shut the front door.
Pay for the nurses, pay for the treatment.
Hang on, is Crete in the EU?
It's in Greece, isn't it?
Yeah, but I haven't got the No, because you basically, if you're a Greek national...
Oh, no, the Greek ones are a little bit different, actually. There's a lot of stories of going to Greek hospitals, and even if you've got the right insurance, them still kind of giving you a bill and saying, well, we ain't going to do nothing until you give us a few quid. Greece is totally bent when it comes to...
€2,000 for one night. They gave me a room, but I had to pay for doctors and everything.
Yeah, I bet you have.
That doesn't include food either. You have to order your own food.
Don't you need, is it called an e-hit card or something that people don't realise they still need when they go away?
Yeah, but in Greece, I've heard stories of in Greece, they and Spain as well, actually, they just ignore it and go, oh, no, that doesn't work here. No, here's your bill,
I
sir.
want to ask you, Ian.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you one question.
You can't have any money.
I'll be single. I've been single. No.
Okay, so they're going to say, could you give us a grand for a sandwich in this Greek hospital? No.
No, I don't ask anyone's money. I work very hard and I always support myself.
Good for you.
I always have. Now, what I want to ask you is, I've been single for 7 years. I went out on a date with a girl 6 weeks ago, and I turned up with some flowers, and she started screaming, saying, "Oh my God, why have you brought me flowers? That means you're going to stalk me. You're not going to leave me for the rest of my life. You're going to want to, just..."
Really?
Flowers. Yeah.
I would suggest that it's not you with the problem there. I would suggest that perhaps it's her with the problem there. Let's get the female perspective on this. Catherine?
About what?
Oh, you weren't even listening? Flipping heck, I'm so sorry, man.
Go again.
Sorry, mate. Go again. Go on. I'm going to put the aircon on. You go again. I've been single 7 years, Catherine, and I bought some flowers for this girl. We met on the first date, and she started screaming like I'd attacked her, saying, "Oh, why do you want me flowers? Next you want to move in, then you're going to stalk me, then you're going to hunt me down." I thought, it's just some flowers.
I mean, what kind of flowers were they? A wreath?
No, they were some pink lilies, orange lilies, blue lilies, roses, tulips, carnations.
Oh. He was being romantic, and she's...
I like to make an impression.
All right, well, it was an odd reaction from her. Maybe it was good that she had that, so you know that she's maybe not the one for you.
Yeah, I would say steer well clear onto the next.
Well, Ian, they always say there's someone out there for everyone, but I don't believe that. I don't think there's someone out there for everyone. I don't think there's someone out there for actually every person.
Well, there can't be, because imagine what we've got, like 8 billion people in the world. What if it's 8 billion and one? What if there's an odd number, right?
Exactly.
And
well, some people don't want it, do they?
Okay, well, so what? Okay, no, that's
there's a lot of happy singletons.
Have you been trying to date for the last 7 years, or have you been happily single? What's the deal?
I've been happily doing my own business, because I deliver cars all over the country. It's my own business. I go all over the country, which I love. No, a lot of girls, they say, "Oh, you're a great guy," but it's like, it's always the looks that comes into it. You've got a great personality. I asked my cousin, what would she rather have, personality or a fit guy with no personality? And she said she'd rather have the fit guy with no personality.
That's terrible. Yeah, you might, but it depends what you want them for.
Yeah.
Long term, that gets boring.
I'm old-fashioned. I'm genuine. I've never cheated. I've never messed anyone about. But
how old are you, Simon? I'm going to say 42. I'm going to say 42.
45, Ian.
35. You've got an old man's voice because he's got bronchitis. 35.
Yeah, you've cheered my day.
What did you say? 35 or 4? Hang on. What did you say?
45.
45.
Ian.
All right. Okay. I was a little bit out. All right. But if it's more than 2 years, it can. All right. 45. Here's the thing. I think when I was younger, I can speak from personal experience. When I was younger, looks were important. Well, looks are important, but I want someone that makes me laugh. I want someone I can have a laugh with, and that's it. That's it, really.
Someone you can trust. Someone you can trust as well.
But also, you say that when you were younger you went for looks, but remember how we were meeting people when we were younger? You couldn't really hear what they were saying because you were probably in some drunken nightclub and you fell into their mouth at the end of the night, and that was the end of that, and you were looking if you could recognise them the next day. Things have changed. When you're 45, you're a bit more kind of secure in who you are. You're happy with your business. You know what you're doing. So now it's not about messing about anymore, is it?
No, I mean, I always went for personality, and I haven't really joined these dates. I did join a dating site called Badoo, and it was just like freak show. It was awful. Wow. People asking...
what was the name for this freak show dating app?
Badoo. B-A-D-O-O.
Badoo. Erica Badoo. Okay, fine.
There was married women on there asking for, like, threesomes and orgies and all that.
Guess again, what was it? It was called Badoo.
Badoo. B-A-D-O-O.
B-A-D-O-O. Badoo.
Well, maybe that's not the site for you.
I'll tell you a funny story. It's not rude. Once I was around Scotland and I stopped over and I was knackered, so I pulled over on Todd Hills, which is Costa Coffee, and I suddenly get a flash of the lights and a knock on the window.
Yes.
And they said, "You're here for the dog?" And I went, "What are you on about?" "When you're here for the dog?" And I said, "I don't have a dog." He said, "What do you mean?" I went, "My dog's at home." "What are you on about?" I didn't know what it meant, Ian.
Come on, you knew.
Ian, I swear to you, mate, I thought swing. I did not know what dog it meant.
And that really happened, because I always thought... when I lived near Hampstead Heath, I saw a couple of guys once, but I always thought that the dogging, going into the lay-by or the car park, flashing the light, I always thought that was a myth. I didn't think that really, really happened. But you're saying, what was it, a lady or a gentleman knocking on your window?
A gentleman.
Of course it was,
I thought it was people that meet up and take their dogs, go walkies, and talk about their dogs. Honestly, I know it's stupid. Yeah. I know you're probably be in tears, but yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, you're a pure soul. You're a pure soul, and we should cherish pure soul. We should take more care of our souls than we have been in the past, I think.
Do you know, I always try to help someone here, and I've never tried to bad anyone. I mean, if I'm down in Margate, I'm happy to go and get a full shot for Nigel. If I go to Margate, I don't mind doing that.
Well, he doesn't live in Margate, so that would be a wasted journey. But thank you. Where does he live? Simon in Nigel in Maidstone. He lives in Maidstone. But Simon. Listen,
it's nearer. So I'm down there.
Simon, listen. I'm going to move on because this is probably costing you like 100 drachma a minute in your hostel. Get well soon, man. Thank you for the call. And the right person might be out there. I don't know. I don't know if that's too much of a cliche or not. Right, we're gonna speak to Dave, and then we're going to speak to Paul, and then we're going to speak to Alan. Sorry, you guys have been waiting for ages. It's just the way it's going. This is Talk Radio.
Moonlit musings from mums, madams, and meat packers.
Never mind, I must have misheard.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
The station's brilliant.
On Talk Radio.
Okie dokie, let's see what Dave has got for us. Good evening, Dave.
Hello.
Hello, Dave.
Hi, Iain.
How old am I? I'm 45.
Oh, it says hiya.
Oh, hiya. Yes, let's do it. Come on, what have you got for us?
I saw something on Twitter by The Independent, I think it was.
Oh, yes.
And they said that the worst place to live in England, and they were given like top 10 worst cities, and what the top of them was Liverpool.
Okay.
And I'm from Liverpool, right?
Are you? I hadn't noticed, right.
And I don't understand why that's top.
Okay.
And I was wondering, what would your top cities be?
Top titties?
Cities.
Top cities.
Tough titties. I'm really struggling to understand what this gentleman is saying. It's the phone. The phone is very low quality, very muffled and very breathy. My top the top rough cities. Well, I wouldn't put I like Liverpool. I've not spent as much time in Liverpool as I would like to. I want to go back there and spend a few days up there. I wouldn't put Liverpool up there. I'd put Luton.
Not a city.
Has it got to be a city or can it be towns, Dave?
It just said rough areas, really.
Oh, rough areas. All right. Luton, I think.
I mean, but everywhere's got...
No, Luton is completely...
No, it's got posh bits.
No, jeez.
It's got posher bits.
Yes. I don't know, Dave. Where would you put...
I mean... I quite like living in Liverpool.
Okay, so you wouldn't put Liverpool there. What would you put? Because I'm really losing the will to live.
Lincoln.
Okay, thanks
Lincoln?
very much.
Gosh.
Lincoln.
Oh, why do we have to fight each other just because some dickhead decided to fill a paper?
There we go.
Those things really are lazy, aren't they?
They are lazy. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening.
Prove it's you, Paul. Give me some rhythm, baby.
Cha cha. You keep doing that to me. It's not fair.
It's not fair. It's bullying. It's online bullying. I'm online bullying.
Yes.
Now, I know why Paul's phoned in.
Yes.
He wants to leave his missus and shack up with you, Catherine.
Why?
And I told him if he gave me 50 quid, I could fix it.
What?
So, meet the new Mr. Boyle. It's rhythmic Paul. He's got rhythm. He's a good-looking guy. We've met him. He's a good-looking guy. And if you're bored of him, there's a whole orchestra. No, I'm joking. Now, listen, Paul has phoned in because Paul is one of the people where I tweeted, we might talk about the 4 agreements tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And he went, oh!
Did you get excited, Paul?
Changed my life.
Did it really?
It did.
When did you... Because it's Mexican, isn't it? You know more about it than me. Because it's a long time since I read the book and I've only got the summary of each one in front of me. But is it something like Mexican dude?
Don Miguel Ruiz, yes.
There we go, you see.
The author. And he wrote... no, is it his son who wrote a 5th agreement, which is...
Don't fanny about on a yacht. I love that. That's one of my favourite lines from Vic and Bob. The first series of Vic and Bob, they're going through the 10 Commandments. Number 7, thou shalt not fanny about on a yacht. Which just always made me laugh. I don't know what the 5th agreement... But But
hang on a minute. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia for this Don Miguel Ruiz, a Mexican author of Toltec spiritualist and neo-shamanic texts.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. And this is it, right? It gets you raising your eyebrows and going, well, this sounds like... But when my therapist got me to get this book, I looked at it and went, oh, geez, OK. And it sat on the bedside table for about 6 months, and then I read it, and it's great. But how is it... So how were you introduced to it, Paul?
A wise lady who I've had an association with since 1998.
A lollipop lady.
Yeah. She suggested that I read it. I've since read quite a lot of his work.
Oh.
And progressively, it just enabled me to drop baggage.
Yeah.
Forgive myself, enjoy life, and be happy, and just lead a much more focused and wonderful existence.
I'm going to go through them, and we know that Kath is going to sneer. Right? We know that, Paul. We know that.
I might not.
She will. We know this. Paul's a nice guy.
There's fundamental truth in it, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's fundamental truth. You can't argue with fundamental truth.
Don't prejudge me.
And I'm slightly embarrassed because this isn't normally kind of where I go, but actually it's great, right? And when Caroline Boyce popped up on her Facebook page, I went and I posted on it. Thanks for posting this. I'd forgotten about these, and this is a useful.
Like, here's the thing. Yeah. My mind is a lot more open than you realise. And the other thing is, unless one of the 4 agreements is dance like nobody's watching. You know, I may give it some time.
We skip number 3, right? So here we go. And when you, there is no way you could. The feet are up. She's getting ready. There's no way you can argue with these. Okay, we're going to go through them one at a time and discuss them. First one: be impeccable with your word. Right? Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Speak with integrity. Be impeccable with your words.
So does that mean no more bitching?
Yes. It does, doesn't it, Paul?
Yes.
Yeah?
You never do it?
Huge societal challenge, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a toughie, isn't it?
That's Twitter out, everyone.
People bond over bitching.
They do.
Should we go on
you
to
meet a stranger and you bitch about a third party. It's a social mechanism.
It is. You work out whether they're your people or not.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
But you're right. It does no good for anybody involved.
It's toxic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2.
Dance like
this
nobody's
is a tough
watching.
One. They're simple, but they're tough.
Okay.
Number 2.
Oh.
One in the pink. Number 2. Don't take anything personally. Nothing, this is a great one. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are, and this is tough, when you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Exactly. Kath and I both had a little light bulb go up over
but
our
also
heads.
I do tend to fall back on that one. That actually it's more about them than it is about me or whoever it is in the firing line.
It's like if
that stuff never comes from a happy person.
No,
does it?
It's like, Catherine, if you were to say something, right, and I were then to say, if you were to say, I don't like that shirt you're wearing, and I said, you've really hurt me by saying that. That's not true. You've not hurt me. What I should be saying is, I've really allowed myself to be hurt as a result of the words that you said. You've not hurt me. Yep. I've allowed myself to feel hurt as a reaction to the words you said.
And that hurt that you've allowed yourself to feel, or the fact that you've allowed yourself to feel that way, comes from something that happened before I got involved.
Oh, it comes from within me. It doesn't come from you. No words can't hurt me. If I feel hurt, that's coming from me. So if anyone ever says to you, you really hurt me with what you said, no, that's not true. The person who's hurt has somehow allowed themselves, has somehow hurt themselves after hearing those words. You don't have to be hurt by words you say. Don't take anything personally.
That's kind of tough. There's another thing that people say, which when you listen to it, it does make sense. If it's hysterical, it's historical, right?
There we go.
Do you know what this means?
No, I don't.
So if someone's reaction is extreme or something that you're not expecting, hysterical, it's historical. There's something else that's happened before you got involved in that scenario that feeds back to, and actually it's probably nothing to do with you.
Yeah. Paul, as a musician, Were you prone to criticism? You must be prone to criticism in terms of like a professional relationship. But when you were younger, did you struggle with it?
I used it as a challenge to improve. I think any decent musician should be open to criticism.
Yep.
And, you know, kind of self-reflection in an effort to continually refine the product. I think that's very important.
What's that? I think we've spoken about it before. That terrible film, and it got so many plaudits about the drum teacher.
Whiplash.
Whiplash. Oh, Jesus. Everyone was raving about it. It was awful. Nope, that's not my rhythm. Start again. Nope, that's not my rhythm. Start again.
Some of that.
Did you? That's not what it's like, is it?
My timpani professor, I love him dearly. I will say this without reservation, but be
impeccable with your word.
No. He expected absolute excellence. He commanded it. You know, without him, I wouldn't be where I am now. Yep. But it was not an easy path. He broke some of my colleagues. He didn't break me.
Wow.
He made
really?
me into a bigger, shinier, better thing.
You are very shiny. I noticed that when we met. Okay, number 3. Dance like no. Number 3. They're simple, but they're tough.
Number 3. I hate Mondays.
Don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. So many times, someone will say you'll bring me a meal, right? And you'll go, oh, I'm hungry, and you go, I'll get you something to eat. And you bring me a meal, and you go, oh no, I have it, but it's not what I wanted. Well, all I said was I was hungry. What you say is, I'm really hungry. I don't suppose you got anything in. And what I don't like is this, and what I do like. It's not the best example, but be really specific. Be really specific in what it is that you don't assume. It's like, okay, better example is if you have an argument with if you're not talking to your partner, right? And it goes on for days, and after 3 days, you imagine we're courting. You say to me, "What's wrong?" I've spent the last 3 days assuming you know why I'm in a mood. Why would you know that? It's up to me to say, look, I'm really struggling with your behaviour, with this specific behaviour. Have I got it right, Paul?
Well, that's one way of looking at it.
Go on.
I interpret it more from visual cues.
Okay.
The unspoken, and not necessarily from people you know, but equally from strangers.
Yeah.
Which again goes back to taking things personally, because the visual cues that we get, behavioural cues we get from other people, they will spark off our own insecurities. And I think at that point, when you feel that button pressed inside yourself, stop and ask a question: is this what's going on here?
Yeah.
Am I correct? Am I wrong?
Yeah. Example.
And then proceed from a place of simplistic truth.
Here's an example.
Yeah.
Someone who I ended up being very good friends with didn't like me for the first, I would say, 9 months.
Me?
No, that we knew each other because he thought I'd looked at him, I'd given him skunk eye when he first came in. And he built all this stuff up in his head that I'd done that.
Yeah.
What had actually happened was I didn't have my glasses on, I couldn't see anything.
There you are.
So he'd made up this thing in his head that I was resentful of him for X, Y, and Z, and that's probably why I wasn't warm to him when he first came in, and because I wasn't warm to him when he first came in, I was fake after that, and all this. I didn't have my specs on, I can't see past a metre. So if I was looking at him, it was by accident. I was just looking at his shape.
Right, and here we go, number 4. And this is great. Always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are tired as opposed to well rested. Under any circumstance, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse and regret.
Mm-hmm.
So the 4 of them, right? Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. Always do your best. Aren't they great? Aren't they great? And he's right, they're universal truths. You can't argue it. They're great. And I read this book maybe 5-6 years ago, and for like 6-7 months I was doing it, man. I was doing it. And then, you kind of let it slip, and it was great to be reminded of these.
That fourth one about always do your best comes with the caveat of within the situation.
Yes.
Which I think is interesting. It's the idea of...
Your best will change.
Yeah. Be kind to yourself. Cut yourself some slack. If you were absolutely knackered, of course you're not going to be as brilliant as you would have been if you'd have had a full night's sleep and, and you were ready for it in a different way. It does make sense.
Doesn't it?
I can't argue with any of that stuff.
How do you? But Paul, this is me saying, I did it for 6 months when I read the book 5-6 years ago, and then it tapers off. How do you maintain it in your life? You say it's changed your life, and we have met you, and you are, all joking aside, you and your partner are a wonderful, delightful, beautiful couple. Very, very talented and very well grounded.
Also exudes positivity and enthusiasm.
Yeah. Very calm. We both have a very calm aura about you. I don't know if she follows these as well. But how do you integrate this into your life then?
Well, I would argue that it's a daily practice.
Yeah.
And further, I would argue that if I had not integrated this into my life, I wouldn't have met her. Going back to Simon, who called earlier.
Okay. Oh, really?
I struggled with relationships. I did not have a relationship that lasted more than 6 months before I met my wife.
Why? Because you're a terrible, horny hound.
Possibly, but no. I mean, I had baggage from my parents that I carried around. I think, in retrospect, I was probably quite an angry man.
Really?
Wow, isn't that a surprise? Isn't that a surprise?
Yeah.
I don't see that at all.
Yeah, that's incredible.
No, well, I'm not that now, for sure.
Feel bad for winding you up. He could have snapped at
Well,
any
yeah,
moment.
could have battered you.
Could have broken my neck. This guy, tough guy.
That's why you feel bad, because of the risk involved, not because you hurt someone's feelings.
I was not impeccable with my word when addressing Paul in all previous contacts.
But I have not taken it personally, so it's okay.
Yeah, you see.
Well, here's the thing, we do.
But so hang on. So you did this, and this changed your life so much. You were able to meet your wife, have a healthy relationship with her.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, it was a process. It was a journey. We're still on that journey, but that book and the subsequent books that we read by the same author, have really, really, I cannot stress that enough, helped us along our way.
Kath has just pulled a face, which makes me think she's just found out that the guy that wrote the books is actually a child.
No, not at all. I've just ordered the 4 agreements, and then it said, based on your latest purchase, the 5th agreement. Right, so hang on a minute. How many are there in this series?
There's 3. I've got a box set of 3, but I don't know where they are anymore. Actually, I'd struggled to find them.
What they were, though.
Yeah.
It's the 4 agreements, the mastery of love,
there we go,
and the voice of knowledge.
Okay.
Those are the 3. They will give you some interesting stuff to think about.
Okay.
I think they will level the playing field of your life. They will make the architecture seem much more scalable.
Yeah. And he's right. When when you've got it, you grasp it. It's it does level the playing field of life. What a line! Thank you, Paul.
If I read this, am I going to end up the person my dad thought I would, which was some sort of smelly, patchouli-wearing hippie going around Europe in a Volkswagen camper? Because that's kind of what I'm hoping, to be honest.
No, I mean you will be you, but you will be empowered with information that makes everything easier.
You'll be the best possible version of you.
I'll be less of a dick.
They're not that good, Catherine. They're good. They ain't that good. Paul, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I really appreciate your insight and wisdom into that. So thank you.
My pleasure.
Thanks, man. Take care. There you go. He's a nice guy. I've always had a lot of respect for Paul, and he's been calling me for a while, and he's a
turns out he's got a handbook.
Turns out he's been cheating. He's been cheating. This is Talk Radio.
The late-night lip service for lovers, loners and lounge lizards.
Well, where exactly is your accent from?
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
I've forgotten your name already, excuse me.
On Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Let us get a story ready, Catherine, because it's your time to shine. Let's go to Alan. Good evening, Alan. OK, thank you very much indeed. Catherine, what have you got for us?
Chinese artist
Yes.
lies naked next to his father's remains.
Of course he does.
After digging the skeleton out of his tomb for a photo shoot.
I might do that when I dig up the grave in my back garden. There's actually a grave in my back garden. I'm going to dig it up and I'm going to lie next to the corpse.
It's going to be a hamster.
Yep.
Siwan Zuji, 33, said it was his dream to take a photo with his father's bones.
OK, wow. OK, that's
we've all
his
got
dream.
dreams.
I've had a dream similar to that, but it involved my dad being like a zombie who wanted to eat my head.
Oh.
I didn't really follow that through.
He posted the images on the website.
The images?
Images.
You said images?
I know. And I'm not going to deny it like some people.
OK.
Because you'll clip it and play it back, and I'll look like a fool.
Can I pause you and blow your mind? Gloria Estefan is 61 years old. Wow. Carry on. Isn't it?
Good old Dr. Beat.
Isn't it? Isn't it? Good old doctor who put a rod in her back.
Yeah. I really wanted to go to that concert as well. Wasn't that on the way to Milton Keynes, or did I make that up?
Probably, yeah, probably.
Because she was in the bunk and she wasn't strapped in.
Yeah. Unlucky.
Come on and check your body. I used to love Gloria Estefan.
I really hated her and the Miami Sound Machine.
Did you?
But I was glad that she survived, obviously. I would have hated that. But Gloria Estefan, 61 years old.
Well done, Gloria.
Isn't that putting it all into perspective?
Is she 61 today?
I think so.
Wow.
Or there, certainly this year. She is certainly
61 at some point, yeah. OK, good.
Continue, s'il vous plaît, madame. Sorry.
33-year-old Beijing-based artist known as Siwan Zuji exhumed his father's remains and arranged them into a skeleton. Oh. Before lying down beside them for a photo shoot.
Were they scattered
I'm guessing they were in a bundle or something. He posted the images on art website Artand and Chinese microblogging site Weibo. Weibo. On Saturday, after a tomb sweeping day. Second reference to this in 2 days. Remember the first one last night?
Nope, wasn't listening.
What did someone get in her eyes when she was tomb sweeping? Bees.
Is that how she got them in her eyes?
Yeah.
So what is tomb sweeping? You go and clean the tomb up?
You go and sort it out.
Oh.
The photos drew widespread condemnation from net users who called his actions disrespectful and utterly shameless.
Oh.
The photo shoot took place at the end of March when his father's remains were being reinterred after years of wear and tear damage to his grave, according to Beijing News.
You're moving your phone? Is your phone ringing?
No, I'm just moving it.
Well, why are you moving it?
None of your business. I did it seamlessly. They didn't need to know about it. Well, why did you highlight it? I find it interesting. I'm asking you exactly what I mean.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, and I will be impregnated with my word, impeccable with my word. One of the tricks I learnt when I was at the BBC was, if I ask someone a question and their mouth says no, but their body language is saying yes, I'm allowed to highlight the body language to say, oh, it's interesting, you're saying no, but actually you're nodding your head and you're smirking a little bit. I wondered what that was. I'm allowed to describe what happens in the studio because it actually presents more of we can control our tone of voice and our words. But the physicality is actually a little bit more subconscious. So what I'm simply doing is highlighting that you shifted the phone from one side to the other while you were talking, and now it's turned into quite a big thing. And you're sat there with one hand behind your back and the other hand on your face, which is the face I pull when I'm weeing in a swimming pool. So what exactly is going on with you, young lady?
I'm just thinking he's interrupting me again.
OK.
It was an amazing feeling.
We'll get the rest of the story after this break.
Experience the unconventional.
Hello.
The unpredictable.
Don't you think that's a bit weird?
And the completely unorthodox.
It was my birthday.
With rule-free Iain Lee.
I was just trying to generate a bit of content.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
Hate alarm clock. Hate going to work.
On Talk Radio.
By the way, the live shows are selling out. It's sold out. So Luton sold out. The first Manchester show has sold out.
We've done Luton?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, it did sell out.
Luton sold out?
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, you say this, so it creates tension and
drama.
drama.
Carry on, sorry.
Luton sold out. Brighton sold out. First Manchester has sold out. Second Manchester, there's a few tickets left, but not that many, actually. Glasgow has sold out. London in June, which we haven't really mentioned the show in London, over half the tickets are gone. And in Shaftesbury, which is in July, that sold a few. Belfast is selling very well, and we're going to have tickets for Bath. The Rondo got in touch with me today. We're going to have a ticket link for that soon.
Wow.
So if you want to come, guys, you've got to get a bit quick. IainLee.com/event. IainLee.com/event. Catherine, this guy is Chinese, weird Chinese guy, and his dead dad.
Yeah. So
what was his name?
His name was Siwan, whose real name is Si Lulu. Said he was only...
I'd rather see Lulu than one.
Says he was only 3 years old when his father died of liver cancer, and it was his dream to take a photo with his father's bones.
Okay.
It was an amazing feeling. This was the closest I've ever been to my father, he said. I'm expressing my feelings to him in a personal way. I kind of get that. Why has he got to be Starkers, though? It was necessary for me, to be naked in the photos.
Oh, the guy that's alive is naked?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Was he humping the pelvis or something?
No, not humping anything.
That is wrong.
It was necessary for me to be naked in the photos, as this is how we enter and leave the world, he said. So he said the pictures were taken by his wife, Lynn Shan, after he sought permission from the cemetery's caretaker. I wonder how that conversation went. We shouldn't be afraid to show real art to the world, he said. His account on Weibo was suspended after the photos went viral and generated much criticism from net users on the site.
Oh, he's a very beautiful young man. I wasn't expecting that at all.
The trending topic page titled...
Lovely. That's a great... that's incredible, actually.
Yeah, it is. Look, and this picture here where he's lying next to...
That's incredible.
Considering his dad died when he was 3, right? So he's never been that close to his dad
amazing,
before.
Actually, why should we be so repulsed by the remains? How old is he there? 26?
He's 33, I think.
Oh, okay, so it's a 30-year-old set of bones. There's no meat on them. Why should we be repulsed by that? That's actually, I think it's beautiful. It's a little bit weird, but good art is a little bit quirks.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful.
So this is this sort of stuff
I
you're
like that.
getting in response. If you're not doing this for the purpose of fame, why are you posting the images online? Just hang up your art at home. I think it's understandable.
That's not what art is for, I'm afraid.
I think it's understandable to want to lie with your father's remains, but you crossed a line when you took the photos with a camera, one person said. You're using your father like a tool for your so-called work of art against all rules and traditions of filial piety, another comment read.
What does filial mean?
Filial means son, to do with being
and
a son.
piety, respect.
Yeah, being honourable towards your father.
Yeah.
However, some net users expressed support, saying they were touched by the artist's work. I was overwhelmed with emotion after seeing the photos. This is so touching, one person said. That's kind of the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
If it gets a reaction from people, that's art.
Yeah. So this show is art? Okay, all right, maybe pushing it a little bit.
Yeah, here's another thing that they said. You did something that no one else could ever do. You've gone beyond the boundary of moral principles and held a direct conversation with your ancestor.
I would love to have my dad's thumb. Oh, he's ashes now, so it's not... But imagine just having, like, the thumb bone of your dad. Or just a little physical...
A memento.
Physical thing that is... I found a watch that my dad gave me. It's not a particularly old watch, but I remember he gave it to me when he was coming towards the end. So it's not that nice a watch, but he said, this is a really nice watch. Yeah. I got that, and that's kind of cool, and I found it. I need to get it fixed and the strap fixed, and I'll wear it a few times. I've worn it before, and I'll wear it again. If I had, just like a little bone, little thumb, that'd be lovely.
A lock of hair? Would it have to be...
I like the hardness of a bone. Steady! I'm talking about my dead dad, guys. A bit of respect. Why you got to lower it to that? Just imagine just having a bone you can rub in your pocket. No, please don't. Right, forget that, because you're just being vulgar about something that's beautiful. Here we go. What do people really believe affects their Wi-Fi? Heavy road traffic, ghosts, and the government are the things British adults believe affect internet speed, a new study has claimed. Let's just go through that again. Heavy road traffic, ghosts, and the government are among the things British adults believe affect internet speed. A poll of 2,000 Britons has revealed adults most commonly blame changes to their Wi-Fi connection on the weather. House pets, aliens, and fish tanks were also accused of interfering with wireless links up and down the country. I think it is true about fish tanks, actually. The pump, I think, can affect the thing, and the water, I think. Additionally...
Well, hang on. In Heretics, doesn't Will Storr write about the fact that fish can see infrared?
Yes, he does. How are you going to tie that in with what we're talking about here?
Well, maybe they can interfere with Wi-Fi too.
Okay. Oh, I told you I dreamt a brilliant invention last night. It's called Wi-Fi. I dreamt it and I woke up thinking, I've got to buy some Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi, it's like a box you plug in and it's like Wi-Fi. It works on the same principle. So it's like transmitting invisible sort of rays. And if a fly flies into it, it kills it. Straight away. Wi-Fi. It might actually be real. I don't know. I need to Google it.
Would it kill other small things? I mean,
Just
how
fly.
big would this thing have to be?
No, it's just flies and bees and wasps. White fly.
Oh, not bees.
Yeah.
No, bees are nice.
No, they're not. Additionally, nearly 1 in 10 adults believed Wi-Fi speeds were slowed down by someone else being on their phone nearby. Mum! Put the phone down! I'm on the internet! Do you remember that? Mum! Put the phone down! I'm on the internet! How long are you going to be? Ow! Others blamed thick walls. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Doesn't it? And even bright lights for their slow Wi-Fi, according to the survey.
Well, why wouldn't it make sense? It's like here, if I go into the lift while I'm using my phone, everything gets interrupted. So...
That's metal. That's because you're in a kind of a Faraday cage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You reckon?
I'm going to say so. Sounds good.
You don't know, do you?
I know what a Faraday cage is.
I know, but you don't know that that's the reason.
You're in a metal box.
Yeah.
You're a steel box.
Is it steel?
Yep. He said... I don't know who said it. Who said he said? Richard Sinclair, MBE, executive director who works at this company, revealed many things can affect Wi-Fi strength, including water. So this is right, then?
Yeah.
He said
and ghosts.
It may surprise many, but just 3% of those who took part in the study agreed water can affect home broadband, which can be Wi-Fi's Achilles heel. I was right. I said it then. I said it.
No, but he said they agree. Is he agreeing?
He's agreeing.
All right.
Fish tanks, weather, and even human beings, which are made mostly of water, can also impact connectivity. But we'd be very surprised if ghosts were the reason why some people experience Wi-Fi issues.
Well, they're made of mist. Some of them, aren't they?
OK. The study also found 2 in 5 adults mistakenly... Right, what does Wi-Fi stand for?
Isn't it wireless free?
Wireless...
Oh, God, I don't know. Something fibre.
Wireless... Right, don't Google it, don't Google it, because I don't know this. I would have said... OK, the study also found 2 in 5 adults mistakenly believed Wi-Fi is short for wireless frequency, and a further quarter thought it meant wireless fidelity. I'd have gone with wireless fidelity.
What does it mean?
What? Let's find out. I'm going to blow... Do you know what it stands for, Amy? I am going to blow your friggin' minds.
Go on.
If this is true, this is massive. In fact, the term Wi-Fi is not short for anything... and is simply what its inventors named it, not based on any other words.
Oh.
Whoa! Mind is blown. Everything I know is collapsing around me. Wi-Fi is not short, but we write... But that's insane.
But there is an example of us making up the gaps.
Assumptions.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi does not stand for anything. It's not based on any other words. It's simply what its inventors named it. That's insane. Honestly, that is the biggest I'm glad I did this job. Although slow internet can be a cause... Did anyone else know that? You didn't know that, Amy? You didn't know that? Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
That's incredible. Yeah. I'm going to read that again. The study also found 2 in 5 adults mistakenly believe Wi-Fi is short for wireless frequency, although we should be pronouncing it Wi-Fi, and a further quarter thought it meant wireless fidelity, when in fact the term is not short for anything and is simply what its inventors named it, not based on any other words. I'm gone. Although slow internet can be a cause of frustration, many resorted to extreme measures to try to fix the issue. Nearly 1 in 10 have hit their router to boost internet speed, and 14% turned their router off before going to bed, which is not advisable and can cause problems with the connection. 1/10 of the population have 10 or more devices connected to the home Wi-Fi at any time. Millions struggle to pick up a decent connection in the bathroom or kitchen. Boring. Nearly 13%, including me, were also unaware that having more active devices connected to Wi-Fi could be the cause of slow operating speeds.
Yeah, I thought that was
I sometimes
true.
turn things off if the internet's quite slow, but I didn't really think it did anything. I like to disconnect my phone and stuff. Isn't that something? So ghosts and water can slow down Wi-Fi.
Facts.
Let's go to Mark. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening, Ian. How are you?
I'm very well, Mark. Just a little brief update for anybody who's unaware. This is my nemesis.
Well, I wouldn't go that far anymore.
That's what it says on my screen.
Well, that's because you told Sam to put that. In fact, I think it was Amy actually told to put that.
Well, see, now you're criticising my team. So you're not only are you my nemesis, you're my team's nemesis.
Not my
well,
nemesis.
I like Amy, to be fair. She's very nice. And I do like Catherine.
Okay, all right. So
It's just you.
It's just me.
But that's how nemesis works.
Yep, that's fine. It gets
well,
everyone
I do
else.
like it, to be fair, Ian.
But you also want to destroy me. I get it. I get it.
I think you'll find it was you who wanted to destroy me.
I'm going to kill you.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'll be waiting.
Okay, fine. I knew you'd be waiting. I knew you'd be waiting for me.
I wanted to call up to say last week, Catherine, you was amazing.
Thank you, Mark.
Oh, well, did you go and make love to him?
Yes.
Well, I did call up once because it was very chilled.
Very chilled now.
Well, it is, to be fair.
I can do chilled. I can do chilled radio as well. Tomorrow.
It was very nice.
Shut up. Tomorrow.
You couldn't even do it for 2 minutes.
Shut up, both of you.
My God.
Tomorrow I'm going to do a really chilled radio show, and you can both kiss my ass cheeks. All
That's
three
fine,
of them.
because I'm back at work tomorrow.
Right, fine. Well, I'm going to be doing... Well, even better, I'm going to be doing a chilled show, and you won't be able to listen to it.
I will be able to listen because I finish at 10. And then go into sleep.
Come in, Paul. I've got the idiots I have to talk to. Absolute... Hang on a minute. Stay there. I don't... Right, hang on a minute, Mark. Stay there. Right, hang on. Yes, who is this?
It's Andrew.
Hello, Andrew. How can we help you? I'm talking to Mark, who's getting on my nerves.
Oh, that's fair enough. Wi-Fi was the name. It comes from the word hi-fi, as in stereo.
Well, so they were... Did you know, Paul, Wi-Fi doesn't stand for anything. It's just Wi-Fi. It's just the name they came up
Your
with.
last caller's right. It first announced in August 1999 via a company called Interbrand.
Yeah.
A man called Philippe Boulanger, and they presided over a big meeting to decide what to call it, and they did think it would be a rib-tickling, punning play on words of hi-fi.
Oh, so is that right, Andrew? It's a pun on...
Yeah, exactly what Paul said. It's just basically because it sounds cool. Everyone knows what hi-fi is.
Sounds cool!
Because that was much bigger in the States. The whole notion of hi-fi was more American,
the other day
wasn't
about
it?
someone, Pete Tong, reading out the first ever URL.
We played that yesterday. We played that clip of him yesterday from
And how weird
1995.
did that sound?
It's incredible. But they should have called it Music Centre, because that's what we used to call the stereo. But so it was a French guy. So
I don't know if it's French or not. I think his name, he may have been Belanga, but the company was Interbrand, and it was first used, I think the etymology goes back to August 1999, I think.
Right.
So it's 20 years old this year.
So we're supposed to be pronouncing it Wi-Fi, I've been told. But then in France, Catherine, do they pronounce hi-fi?
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi, yeah, like hi-fi.
How do they pronounce hi-fi in France?
I don't think they say hi-fi.
What do they say in France? Le stéréo de la musique.
Something like
Okay,
that.
all right, fine.
They say no extension to Brexit. That's
There
what they say
we go.
in France.
No.
Andrew, thank you for that, brother. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Hey! When I called in tomorrow night, will you do that for me?
Of course I will. Mark, that was an example of a good call.
Oh, well, never mind.
Thank you very much indeed.
Mark, hang on in there. You're a star.
Paul Ross is here. Hello, Paul.
Good morning.
What have you got for us?
I'm trying to think what we have got today. Oh, we've got a melon twister about life before life. I've read the reports.
Yes.
Not the shortest report I've read, and I've read more comprehensible reports. Remarkable researcher who says that DNA was present before the first single-cell organisms on planet Earth.
Now, that's blowing my mind, because I don't quite know what it means. But it sounds...
We tend to think of life having emerged either... They used to think photosynthesis, and then they realised that was pants with matching bra. They now think it's to do with these hot thermal vents at the bottom of the oceans and chemicals swirling around, and this kind of weird soup. And again, it sounds to me like completely spurious, but created...
Oh, the primordial soup.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that was single-cell organisms, and they would have had DNA.
Okay.
This chap says, well, the DNA was there already, kind of waiting to find life to latch onto or create. I mean, my knowledge and my explanation powers have run out there.
Yeah.
But I think total heaviosity might be approaching, and I'm up for a Radio 4 programme if we can explain this seriously.
Wow, okay.
So I'm looking forward to that. And we're off to the movies on a more mundane level, which is good. 3 movies under review this week from our mate Van.
Is one of them Shazam?
He did that last week.
Oh, did he?
He loved it.
Oh, I'm taking
and
the
John
boys.
Hearn, and John Hearn, the producer, loves it. And my son took my grandsons to it as his birthday treat, and they all loved it.
How old are the grandsons?
They're 11 and 6.
Okay, all right. I'm taking
perfect age.
Taking my boys on Monday to see Shazam. I'm looking forward to that. The trailers look very, very funny.
I always think it's like my favourite superhero film. No word of a lie. I love the first Hellboy film, but it's The Incredibles 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And when they say we're taking Batman and making him darker, no, make them lighter. Make them like the Silver Age comics. Make them more fun.
This is why the DC ones I think struggle out of time, but the Marvel, because the Marvel ones have got that. No, hang on, I've got it right around. The Marvel ones have got their tongues in the cheek. Anyway, right, that's coming up. Thank you very much, Amy. Thank you to I'm going to say nearly all of the callers. Thank you to Kate Robbins. Thank you to Catherine Boyle. We'll be back tonight at 10. Paul Ross is coming up after 1. This is Talk Radio.
Talk Radio. Digital debate for the UK.
Pick up your phone and talk radio.
We'll get you talking.